some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Trusted information, live and local. From the award-winning KMOX Newsroom.
All right, back into the show. Hancock and Kelly hanging out with us. We're going to get into that question about DeSantis and Trump and what that whole thing is and what it's going to look like going forward. But before we do that, Michael, we talked to Francis Slay earlier this week about the closing St. Mary's. And obviously he's an alum from there. I know you mentioned you wanted to get into that. And
yeah, I'm irritated. I'm a Catholic. I've spent my entire life going to Catholic schools from kindergarten all the way through high school. And I truly believe one of the main reasons that I'm a Democrat and I work the way that I and have the belief systems and the generosity that I try to exude comes from my Catholic upbringing. And, you know, blessed are the poor, blessed are, you know, all of the things that were drilled into my head. And to watch the Catholic Church abandoning its two racially diverse schools in the city of St. Louis, one right next to the cathedral, the other one that has this huge historic legacy, is frustrating to me. I feel like the Catholic Church is sacrificing the mission of what Catholicism is behind Catholicism. These schools are troubled, but they weren't and necessarily needing to close. And if you look at what's left, it's all the Catholic schools seem to be in a particular area where people have money and look a lot like me. Now, from another perspective, as the city of St. Louis, I think you got to be even more concerned because even the Catholics are giving up on the city. You can point to whatever. It's because population's moving. Why are they moving? Because of the huge problems that exist in this city. But as a Catholic, I'm frustrated beyond belief because I don't know that the Catholic Church is living up to its mission.
Well, I'd give them a break on this. I would imagine those schools have been bleeding money for years and years, and they probably tried to do everything they could to keep them open. But at some point, if something's not economically viable, you're doing a disservice to the folks that are stewarding their money with the church to support those schools. And it just wasn't sustainable. And it underscores for me the fact that we need more choices for these families to educate their kids. And Catholic school is one choice, but there ought to be a panoply of choices.
John, this isn't a business. This is the Catholic Church. This is the wealthiest landowner on the planet. These aren't people who are dying. Yes, there is a problem. They probably want to treat each school like its own business. But when does your mission take place? And how about the juxtaposition of they're still investing in St. Charles, they're still investing in West County, but they're running away from the city, the very place where the Catholic mission is needed the most. And as a Catholic, that's frustrating to me. And as a city, it ought to wake us up that we have real problems. You cannot be a suburb to nowhere. And that is where we are headed as a region here.
Good stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no,
that's
do you think there's a way to save them?
What, those schools?
Yeah,
I think we're going to see them go down the same path that some of the orders have. And when I mean orders, Vianney, CBC, Chaminade, they're going to try to stand them up as individual churches. Or as individual schools that would be private schools. Of course, there'd be potentially parts of the orders, but essentially the Archdiocese is just saying, in St. Louis City, we're getting out of the Catholic school business. And I don't think it's the fact that they chose St. Mary's. It's a failing neighborhood. It needs some help. That points to not living up to their mission. And then when it comes to closing the one right next to the cathedral, it also happens to be some of the most valuable real estate in St. Louis. Guess what? There'll be condos there soon. These people know how to do this. That's what they did to JFK. They closed JFK in West County, and now there's $1 million homes sitting there. The Catholic Church is a business. And look, if this was Schnucks that was closing stores, we'd be in outrage. We're leaving people, but there's a business argument to be made there. This isn't a business. This is a religion with a mission.
Okay, but it is,
and not a religion that's failing in money. They got plenty of cash.
right. But if you can't continue to operate a school where you can't attract students and you can't attract tuition, you're paying all those teachers, you're paying for the maintenance and the upkeep. It is not a good fiduciary role for that church if they're bleeding money out of that place, because who ends up paying for that is all of their parishioners. And I just can't argue. I can't blame the archdiocese in this case for doing what they've done.
I guess to Michael's point, at what point does the Catholic Church say, hey, we're doing well in so many other areas, the mission comes first here? This is a loss for us financially in this area, but this is where the mission supersedes the financial loss.
Yeah, and if it's truly all hands on deck to address the root causes of poverty and stuff, the Catholic Church is going to be the first ones to abandon. I mean, come on. I went to 12 years of this stuff. I listened to them. They instructed me. They showed me the message. They showed me the missions. They taught me. I think it's affected me to my life today. I give money to these people. Those churches in St. Charles are full, and that's great. But I think those Catholics feel the same way that I do, which is that why are we giving up on our mission? And these schools aren't failing. It's not like there's nobody there. They have significant alumni systems that have been able to raise money and to be able to do this. A lot of people thought CBC was headed in this direction 20 years ago. They found another way to survive and continue with their mission. Well, they also happen to be out in Lily White, West County.
Yeah, they moved their facility. And, we don't know. I certainly don't know what the enrollment numbers were at these schools, but I have to assume they were quite low.
I think Rosati Kane had a freshman class of 33 students and under 200.
So then put together recruiting. I mean, it's Rosati Kane. It has 100 years worth of history. It's right next to the cathedral. You have St. Mary's, who's graduated some of the most significant people to ever come from St. Louis. This is a place that, by changing the way that you market, but the Catholic Church has a hard way of changing things, but to stay true to your mission. It's just frustrating as a Catholic in particular.
Well, when people don't go to Gap and buy their clothes anymore, they close stores. That's just the way markets
This isn't
work.
A business. It's a religion. They're not for profit. If they want to act like a business, let's tax them. The city sure could use their tax revenue. They own the most buildings in St. Louis. They own more property than anybody else.
Well, maybe if they turn them into commercial properties, they'll start paying taxes out there.
It's interesting that the man of faith, the way that you are, wouldn't kind of recognize their feeling to continue their mission. And like I said, this isn't some one-off church. This is the Catholic Church.
I know.
This is the wealthiest people on the planet.
Yeah, but I can't blame them for closing the schools. I just can't.
Yeah.
I wonder if the money won't travel across the ocean. I think that's the problem. Like, we seem to have a problem. Like, it won't make it from Italy to St. Louis somehow.
They got plenty of money right here.
The Vatican.
I'm being a smart ass, Amy.
Yeah,
God, Lord, you don't have to take everything literally.
I just didn't know.
Are you serious right now?
Kevin,
No, I'm not.
Look,
Amy's like,
we're going to be hearing a lot of these stories
Yeah.
because the Catholic Church has to make some changes. People are changing the way that they're getting education, and there's a lot of parish schools, potentially the one that I grew up in, that's going to have to close. That makes sense to me. This is a high school. There's only 3 of them in the city. Now there's going to be one, a place that needs the Catholic mission the most.
guys, have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
You too. See you guys.
There aren't many things I'm good at, but I was born with a talent for start. It's like the difference between poking someone with your finger a little bit and punching them as hard as you can. And that is what it feels like in the world where everyone is just rearing back and throwing haymakers so that 18 people will like their tweet, and there's a possibility it goes viral because I was so mean or I was so this or so that. And personally, it just kind of like, ugh.
A little snark and a whole lot more. The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Disasters, floods, crisis. These events can take a toll on your health. Stress, anxiety, and other symptoms are common reactions after a disaster. Show Me Hope, Missouri's crisis counseling program, has free and confidential support for anyone impacted by the severe floods that struck St. Louis in July. Our disaster distress helpline provides immediate crisis counseling. Visit moshowmehope.org to get connected to local providers. Brought to you by the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Got a special for you from Beast Plumbing on reverse osmosis systems. In the month of September, $100 off for your home or business. Reverse osmosis systems produce cleaner water, it saves you money, and are better for the environment. $100 off reverse osmosis systems. Don't miss out. Plus, Beast Plumbing is growing by leaps and bounds, and they are hiring for many positions. You will love the culture they offer. Check it out, BEISplumbing.com, or call them 314-698-1154. Tell them both sent you to Beast Plumbing.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Get great money for your old money. SNL Coin is always buying Morgan Silver dollars and Peace dollars. SNL Coin is always buying Walking Liberty half dollars and Franklin half dollars. SNL Coin is always buying 90% silver coins, dimes, and quarters. SNL Coin is always buying silver bullion rounds and bars. Call SNL Coin, 9300 Gravoy Road, 544-3600 before you sell. SNL Coin also buys scrap gold, gold-filled, silver plate items, and sterling flatware. Precious metal gets you better money at SNL Coin.
At 10:30, we have a sunny sky, 61 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Stuart McMillan. Here's what's happening. Florida state officials are reporting 21 people have died. One is confirmed from the hurricane, and 20 others unconfirmed at this hour. More bodies have been spotted but not recovered, so they have not been added to the death count. Parts of the lower Mississippi River are so low from weeks of drought that barge traffic is being limited at the worst possible time as the fall harvest begins. Some communities between St. Louis and New Orleans may see record low water levels in the coming days. It was a round of applause from spectators at Ketanji Brown Jackson. She made her way into the Supreme Court before a brief courtroom ceremony 3 days ahead of the start of the High Court's new term. President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and others were there in attendance. It was an invitation-only ceremony. Stalled vehicle 55 northbound just before Butler Hill Road. The right shoulder is affected. Stalled vehicle 67 southbound past Lindbergh at the left shoulder there. Clearance time, says MoDOT, coming up just in a few moments. Your weather for today, pleasant, plenty of sun, a high around 73, a low of 49 degrees tonight, clear skies. Tomorrow through Wednesday, sunny and warm, a high 75 to 80 degrees. I'm Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The listening you love is on the free Odyssey app. Your trusted local radio stations, coverage of your favorite teams, live news from your hometown, and millions of podcasts on demand. Best of all, you can completely customize your listening experience. Follow topics you care about, like leagues and teams. Pause or rewind your local sports and news, and add shows to your queue to catch up later. There's a lot to listen to, so get started and download the free Odyssey app today.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Carol Daniel here. Leslie Gill, president of Rung for Women, addresses the gender wage gap in our latest episode of PNC C-Speak, the language of executives. She advises employers to stop asking applicants for their previous salary and post the range. PNC C-Speak provides digital storytelling from a C-level perspective on relevant, forward-thinking business approaches. Listen to our 14-minute podcast with Leslie Gill at KMOX.com/PNC C-Speak. PNC C-Speak, the language of executives.
Lombardo Homes welcomes you to Sutton Farms in Wentzville, a sprawling new custom home community grand opening on Saturday, October 8th. Sutton Farms offers a private, rural setting with the added bonus of nearby shopping and dining on Wentzville Parkway. Loved for its spacious home sites, Sutton Farms is also close to the Splash Station Aquatic Center and Wentzville Rec Center. Be one of the first 3 purchasers at Sutton Farms, and we'll provide a 2-year membership to one or the other. Join us on Saturday, October 8th, and start your home building journey. For more information, visit LombardoHomes.com.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase.
Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
Sunday night, it's Chiefs football as they take on the Buccaneers. Pregame at 6, kickoff 7:20. Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Sunday night. Touchdown! Kansas City! And you can hear the game on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hold on to your seats. We had a $4.4 billion surplus revenue in the state of Missouri. We had a budget last year of $47 billion. That's actually more money than the state of Illinois with twice as many people. This is a great opportunity to make some progress on cutting income taxes and moving in the right direction, which is, I believe, the right direction towards zero.
10:35 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. That was Bob Onder from earlier in the week talking about at the time, the tax break that was pending. It passed the House already, and it's on its way to Governor Parsons. And obviously, we went through that. We went through what the progression could be coming up next when it comes to tax cuts. And today, we're going to give you the opposing viewpoint on that. And that's with State Representative Peter Meredith from the city of St. Louis, District 80. First of all, Peter, thank you for doing this. We appreciate you. How are you today?
I'm well. Thanks for having me. You might hear my daughter in the background.
Sorry, it'd be a good secondary guest for us. So tell us, we just played the clip from Bob Onder, and obviously your position publicly has been a little different. So just state what you think about this process and where it's headed.
Well, first of all, there were some facts in there that were just not true. I mean, the comparison to Illinois is actually false. But look, we do have a big surplus right now. That is true. But there are some very unusual circumstances for that. We've got unprecedented federal spending, both directly to our state budget to spend. I mean, some of that $4.5 billion is actually federal one-time dollars. But some of it is also just federal investment into the economy that has meant more revenue for our state. But another part of it is actually just a direct result of rising wages and rising costs. We talk about inflation. So when wages go up and when the cost of goods go up, well, income tax revenue and sales tax revenue both go up. That's normal. But what that also means is that the things the state spends money on also go up at that same rate. Well, we haven't kept up with that rate with our budget. So we are actually falling behind just keeping up with inflation on paying state workers, paying teachers, funding schools, funding higher ed. Now, when we're not even keeping up with inflation, even before that, we were already the lowest state-funded K-12 education of any state in the country, the lowest paid teachers in the country, the lowest paid state workers in the country, and the list goes on. So we've got a crisis of hiring folks doing all these important things for our state at the budget we've got. And so Republicans are unfortunately looking at this surplus, and instead of realizing we have to spend that in our budget to keep up with the cost of things and to invest in our state, they're saying, nah, let's give that away. Let's give it back in a tax cut that mainly benefits really wealthy people and literally does nothing for low-income people. Meanwhile, we may find ourselves in 2 years without the one-time money from the feds going, oh, God, now we're back in a budget crisis and having to make cuts at a time when we need to be increasing.
Going back to the budget surplus and then also the lower pay Missouri having on the lower side when it comes to paying state employees and teachers, if they were to increase pay even more, because the governor did sign a bill to increase pay for teachers moderately, but if they were to increase pay significantly more, would that eat up the entire budget surplus, all $4 billion?
I think the fact is we don't actually know right now. We don't know how much pay needs to go up. Yes, there was an increase last year for state workers and for teachers, but that increase, when we actually compare it to inflation, was actually less than inflation. So it was almost like a pay cut. Well, we don't know exactly how much we have to raise, which means we should take a minute with these dollars, start investing in increasing pay, figuring out how we get out of the hole we're in before we decide whether we've got spare money. Not to mention the fact that, like I said, if the economy turns or if the one-time federal dollars slow down, we may not have the money to keep up with our budget where it's at right now. I mean, just 3 years ago, 3 years ago, we were in a tight budget where we were fighting over them trying to make cuts to senior services and the circuit breaker tax credit and things like that. And that was with the tax rate that we have now. If they cut that tax rate by 10%, as this bill would do, what happens when we're in that kind of economic climate again?
Just for factual purposes, you said a moment ago that the assessment that we were in better position than Illinois, or there was I forgot exactly how Onder put it. You said that was just incorrect. What is the actual fact there?
He said our budget is larger than Illinois' budget.
Okay.
That's only when they've been citing that, they've been comparing our budget, including federal dollars, to their budget, including only their state dollars, which is just false.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to include the two to get the right number. What about the
apples to apples?
Yeah, right, exactly. So if this is, I mean, this is obviously on its way through. Who gets the most benefit of it? So let's say we categorize it three different ways, right? The people that need some help, the people that are on their own and fine, but they're kind of like working class, regular old people, and then the people that have some more money. Who benefits from the tax cut?
I mean, there's no question the people that benefit the most are those that need it the least and will frankly notice it the least. So when you look at the numbers, there's close to a third of Missourians that don't make enough money to owe income tax at all. To the state. They still pay sales tax, property tax, all the other taxes every day. But income tax, they don't actually pay to the state. These are like folks on fixed incomes. A lot of seniors fall in this category, but also a lot of low-wage workers fall in this category. Those people will get literally $0 from this, zero benefit at all. So almost a third of Missourians that are struggling the most right now with inflation and rising costs already right off the bat get nothing. Then there's the next category. Once you've got people that are paying the 2/3 of people that pay income tax, that owe income tax, the bottom 20% of those, they'll get about $10 each a year, $10. Now, no one's complaining about $10. Okay, great. Is it going to make a big difference in their bottom lines when they're trying to put food on the table and deal with rising costs? No. Now, the next category, they start to see a little more, maybe a couple dozen bucks. So that's the folks in the middle that you're talking about. But where we see the real cost, that top 1% of income earners in Missouri, top 1%, these are folks that average $1.5 million a year in income. They're going to be getting over $10,000 a year in savings. Now, if you make $1.5 million a year, $10,000 isn't really going to change much of anything for you either, but it's going to cost our state a lot of money. And so I think it should be no surprise that the two main groups that back this bill and testified for it in committee are Sinkfeld's run Show Me Institute, that's Rex Sinkfeld, a billionaire, and the Koch brothers run the AFP, Americans for Prosperity. Those are the two groups that back this. They're the two groups looking at who's going to benefit, and that's billionaires and millionaires. Mind you, these are the same guys that pushed the Brown tax cuts in Kansas, helped write them, helped write this 10 years ago, that even Republicans went, oh God, that was a disaster. It bankrupted Kansas, didn't grow their economy at all as promised. In fact, it shrunk compared to their neighbors. And within a few years, even Republicans undid it. Well, in Missouri, we can't come back and just undo it as a legislature because any increase in tax has to go to a vote of the people per our Constitution.
Yeah, and it is an interesting discussion, and I can see how those who are for the tax cuts, the income tax cut reduction, would, advertise it as a pro-growth policy. You're trying to incentivize investment and those who have the financial ability to invest in your state's economy. It's like a commercial for your state, but it's not necessarily always a red-blue divide when you look at a state like Colorado, which is blue, and Governor Jared Polis, who is a Democrat, and he had said last year that he thinks Colorado should be a no state income tax state. And he quoted that as a pro-growth policy. Where do you see this being a red-blue divide? And do you see a policy or an approach in which you think the majority of Democrats would support Missouri being a no state income tax state?
I honestly don't think there is much of a path for that in Missouri. The states that have managed to do that generally have some other form of revenue in their state, like Texas having oil, Florida having tourism. I think Colorado's at the point where they've got a crazy amount of tourism revenue as well. And that starts to change the equation when you have other types of revenue, especially where you're taxing folks from out of state to pay the bill. In Missouri, that's going to be hard. And so what you hear from people like AFP and the Show Me Institute, when they testified in committee this week, they said what they imagine shifting to from income tax is relying more on sales and property tax. Well, we already have sales and property tax that are pretty high here, especially sales tax. And frankly, those are the taxes that hurt working folks the most. I mean, low income folks spend a higher share of their dollars on taxes than any other category. And it's because they're paying sales tax and property taxes every day. We hear all the time folks that are struggling with the rising cost of goods. Well, tack on an even higher sales tax to that. How's that going to help them? So no, I don't see much of a path for that in a state like Missouri, where we don't have some other out-of-state source of revenue we can sort of turn to instead. Otherwise, we're just going to a more regressive system that hurts low-income folks.
In terms of streams of revenue, we are looking toward the legalization of marijuana recreationally. That's probably going to happen here, I'm assuming. And also down the line, at some point, legalizing sports betting here in the state of Missouri, sports books, online apps, whatever. There are a lot of people who want it. The teams in town want it. The teams in Kansas City want that. Would those revenue streams end up helping?
So look, I tend to be supportive of that happening. I think it's going to happen. And of course, those are helpful revenue streams. They're not helpful in 75% of our revenue in this state comes from income tax. You're not going to make up that, which is, 8 to 10 billion a year with those taxes that'll be in the couple $100 million a year range. They just aren't a one-for-one. But the other thing I'll say is we don't really want to become a state where we fund all of our basic services off of a reliance of people doing things that we don't necessarily consider healthy. We've shifted a lot of our education funding to relying on gambling and the lottery. And it actually means that our state spends $10 million a year. When I came into office, $16 million a year advertising to get people to play the lottery in order to have revenue for our schools. Now, I don't want to be in a situation where our state is trying to encourage people to use marijuana or gamble or bet on sports in order to pay our bills. I am absolutely not trying to prevent people from living their lives and having the government ban these things or criminalize them. But to actually shift to almost incentivizing them because we rely on them to pay our bills, I think that's a bad way to go for government.
As a quick follow-up to the income tax reduction that Governor Parson looked at the other day, he also, I believe, said no to the proposed corporate tax cut that could cost the state $1 billion in revenue. When it comes to that corporate tax cut, what is the Republican support behind that? Obviously, the governor's support was not behind that. Is that likely to pass as well?
No, it looks like that is off the table for now, although I suspect we'll be hearing about it again from the Republicans when session starts. Look, I think this kind of shows the hand, right? Republicans' goal here with these tax cuts is to benefit wealthy folks and corporations. The corporate tax cut would mostly, the largest beneficiaries would be out-of-state corporations that operate here, the Home Depots of the world. That's not helping grow our economy. And I think it falls to the same myth that this lowering our income tax is going to drive growth myth that's been proven false over and over again. No company is deciding to move here because our income tax rate goes down 0.5%. No company is even going to try and move here because our corporate tax went down by a point. We already have the second lowest corporate tax rate of the states that have corporate taxes in the country. The governor acknowledged that too, and that's one of the reasons he doesn't support this. He knows it's going to the lowest isn't going to suddenly drive business growth here. What will drive business growth here is investing in good schools, good roads and bridges and infrastructure, broadband access everywhere, higher education with a well-educated consumer base and workforce. I mean, these are the things businesses move for. And frankly, one of the things we hear the most from businesses right now of why they don't come to Missouri is because of Republican politicians focusing on attacks over cultural war issues that they're saying, our employees don't want to move to a state that isn't friendly, for example, to LGBTQ folks.
Peter, we really appreciate the time. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but we'll look forward to catching up with you again down the road. But thank you for presenting the opposition that we had earlier in the week, and we'll look forward to having these debates and conversations again down the road.
Thank you all. It's a pleasure talking to you.
You got it. That's Peter Meredith, represents the city of St. Louis in the Missouri State House. All right, we'll get to what's trending in the world coming up next on the show.
Do your homework. Check us out on the Better Business Bureau and Angie's List. Hi, I'm Chuck Easter with Easter Fence Deck and Renovations. We can stand the scrutiny and encourage it. Don't just look at the ratings, but read the reviews. You'll find that we are who we say we are, a company that is focused on doing what's right every time. We never cheat, and we never cut corners. With Easter, your fence, deck, sunroom, or awning project will be completed with unmatched craftsmanship and at a fair price. Call 314-892-8500 or easterfence.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Fruits and vegetables are very environmentally friendly foods. Make them even more friendly by eating them in season and choosing produce that is local and organic. Shopping at farmers markets are a great way to do both, and you can also start growing fruits and vegetables in your own garden. Even if you live in an apartment, you can start with a few potted plants. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. For about 25 years, I've been a patient at Ophthalmology Associates, the home of the doctor's doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Also, my wife and kids and sister are also patients there for their eye care. After all, these doctors have 3 convenient locations, an excellent, experienced staff, the latest technology, and a modern optical department on location. They're also available for emergency calls. And did you know these doctors treat more doctors than any other practice in St. Louis? They spend a lot of time with their patients. They don't rush you in and out. When you meet them, you immediately realize they care about you and your eyesight, and they're extremely knowledgeable about eye care, and they can answer all your questions. That's why I go to and recommend Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000, yourEyeDoc.com.
10-year-old George Haruza and his parents, with only what they could carry in a suitcase, made a daring escape from behind the Iron Curtain of communism, risking their lives to secure the freedom and promise of America. George Haruza learned English, studied hard, and worked harder. Overcoming every hurdle in his way, George Haruza is now a world-renowned surgeon, educator, and physician leader. George Haruza earned a reputation for getting difficult things done in his own life, medicine, and business. Now, George Haruza will bring that results-based record to the state Senate for greater transparency to improve our schools and healthcare, to find solutions to protect our families from rising crime, to bring back high-paying jobs, and to implement policies to reduce runaway gas and grocery prices. George Haruza for State Senate, a record of getting good things done.
Paid for by Haruza from Missouri.
Park Provence, an assisted living and skilled nursing memory care community, understands the challenges when caring for a loved one with dementia or other forms of memory loss. You're not alone. Park Provence is a trusted expert in memory care and recently recognized as a best memory care community by U.S. News and World Reports. Call 314-452-5200 or to learn more, parkprovence.com. That's PARC Provence.com. Get started with the Vision Walk today and form your Vision Walk team to raise money for a cure. For more information, go to visionwalk.org or call 314-852-7223.
For 30 years, Banner Construction has offered the finest home exterior solutions featuring James Hardy and Pella Windows to give your home a beautiful new look. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050. Banner Construction.
Fun in the sun is no fun at all without sunscreen. Just like reapplying sunscreen helps continue protection against the sun, a booster shot can help enhance protection against COVID-19 after a primary series vaccination. Schedule a booster appointment when eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. More Amy, more Kevin, more Chris. What is this weird show? The Show on KMOX.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, trending is brought to you by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Connellville. Raj, what was trending when we were in the office?
I can't
earlier?
say it.
It's gotta.
I don't know. I don't think I can. I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can say a different word for it.
The SH word.
Yeah.
That word.
Shy.
Yeah, but it was trending, and I can't figure.
The I.
Yes,
is
the
not
I
a
had
regular I.
It had an accent over the I,
What's that
but
called? Like an umlaut?
that's not an umlaut. That's the two dots.
Oh yeah.
That's
At any
German.
rate.
Yeah, so that word was trending for some reason, and I still have not been able to figure out why.
Oh, okay.
Because there were
It's
a lot
mystery.
there were a lot of different posts, and none of it seemed to fit. So I don't know what that was all about. But it kind of, one of those punchy in the face moments. Like, what? Why is that trending? Okay, that just absolutely happened.
But we don't know why it's trending. We don't know why it's written like that with the little accent mark.
But yeah, and the accent was over the I,
Mm-hmm.
but it was angled to the left instead of the right. You're used to it angling to the right.
Mm-hmm. And there's no
on
dot.
on Spanish words or apostrophe.
Mm-hmm.
There is
so I have no idea.
One trend that's a big story that's number one, I think, in the country right now. And that is that Ukraine is formally applying for, quote, accelerated accession to NATO.
Mm-hmm.
Vladimir Zelensky put that out there. I know the story, the AP story is from about an hour ago, but that's the number one trend right now.
Yeah, and of course, Putin has announced, declared certain parts of Ukraine part of Russia. So
Annexed
now
them.
suddenly he's a quote unquote defensive war.
It's so
It's
ridiculous.
so ridiculous.
It's just so ridiculous. It's like me walking into, because Kevin has a house, walking into
Did you
his
guys know that?
house. Yeah.
Okay.
Walking into his house and saying, "This is my house now," and then Kevin pushes me out the door, and then I go back at him and say, "I'm defending myself. I'm defending myself." Kevin pushed me out of my
Well,
out of my own house.
And what you're doing really is saying your guest room and your garage are mine now.
Yes.
The rest of the house we're still
just
coming for, but it's not ours yet.
If there's anybody in this country, I can understand why people in Russia might be still on Vladimir Putin's side. A lot of them may not know any
They
better.
don't want to go to jail.
They don't want to go to jail, number one. Number two, I don't know how they would get the truth because it's nothing but state media there anymore. But if anybody here is supporting that in any way, what is wrong with you? You're 100% wrong. Vladimir Putin is 100% wrong and bad.
Trending something that has nothing to do with war. Trevor Noah.
I saw that.
Yes, he announced that he is leaving the Daily Show. He took over 7 years ago. for
7
Jon Stewart
years?
in
Oh my God, it's been that
2015.
long.
I know.
So he kind of hinted maybe it's to return to stand up, but Trevor Noah leaving the Daily Show.
Is he dating Dua Lipa or not? I need to know.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's
I
a
don't know
thing,
anything.
apparently.
Yeah.
Definitely did not know that was a thing. All right, coming up next, we're going to get an update on some of the areas down in Florida with the county commissioner to tell us how things went in Charlotte County coming through Hurricane Ian.
Congress has authorized trillions in new spending, along with doubling the size of the IRS agency in just the last few months. Do you think that is by accident? No, it is with a purpose to go after small businesses, employees, and individuals who have not filed or paid their taxes. If this is you, don't panic, just call. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Interest and penalties on your tax bill won't stop until you take control. Call me, Lance Drury. I'll tell you in advance an affordable fee, which includes costs and expenses that works for your business and family. Your first visit to the Lance Drury Law Firm is free and confidential, so you have nothing to lose. Call me today. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Get ready, because here they come.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Beatlemania all over again with a Fab Four, the ultimate tribute to the Beatles.
Entertainment Tonight says seeing the Fab Four is just like seeing the Beatles.
Hey Jude.
The Fab Four takes you through the 60s with the music that changed our lives.
Yesterday.
It's a show you won't want to miss.
Saturday, October 1st at the Family Arena. Tickets now on sale at the Carroll House box office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster.
It's the Sail On Tour 2022, starring Orleans, Firefall,
You are the woman that I've always dreamed of.
Peter Beckett, the voice of Player, John Ford Kohler, Walter Egan, and the Babies with Sail On Tour 2022. Saturday, October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
What I'm about to say and what I'm going to about to offer, remember this. Just because it's more expensive, trust me, our higher energy rating doesn't make it better, but we ran out of our recommended stock. So here's what I'm doing, and I made a deal with my supplier, is I'm selling the higher end ones for the same price as the really good ones. You're going to pay the price for the really good ones at the less than what the higher end ones charge because they don't have it anymore. Made that deal for you. So that's till they get the supply up. So I would imagine you're going to need air conditioners from now through September. That's what I promise to you. It's a great price, and we do have the equipment. So if you need me, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's sunny and 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, Hurricane Ian continues its trek toward the Carolinas.
I'm Jim Crisel in Greensboro, North Carolina. Ian is predicted to dump as much as a foot of rain along the South Carolina coast. Areas of North Carolina and Southern Virginia will also see the possibility of flooding. There will be the threat of tornadoes as well as strong, potentially damaging wind. High wind warnings and advisories are posted as far north as the mountains of West Virginia.
The damage in Florida after Ian is widespread as many of the beach communities along the state's Gulf Coast are disaster zones. The U.S. Coast Guard is on the front line of rescues.
We rescued 95 people yesterday, a few more overnight, and our crews will be out there first thing this morning looking for more people that are in distress.
Rear Admiral Brendan McPherson.
It's a challenging mission, but our crews are highly trained and well equipped for this. So I talked to a number of the crews that did those missions yesterday, and they faced devastating circumstances, really unrecognizable terrain.
The U.S. is announcing more sanctions on Russia after what President Biden calls Vladimir Putin's fraudulent attempt to annex Ukrainian territory.
The sanctions target more than 1,000 people and firms connected to the invasion, including Russian lawmakers, financial and military infrastructure leaders, and others. The announcement came after Putin signed treaties absorbing parts of Ukraine into Russia, which President Biden says shows contempt for peaceful nations everywhere. While he insists the U.S. will not honor Russia's claims, Putin's pledging to protect the areas using all available means. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
Criticism of the new criminal justice reform law in Illinois continues. 100 out of 102 state's attorneys are opposing the SAFE-T Act. Congressman Rodney Davis tells 97.1 he thinks things will get worse.
Unfortunately, it's going to lead to an increase in crime and an already increasing criminal environment that we're in many of our major urban areas. And frankly, it's spreading to the rural areas that I even live in.
Some states' attorneys are suing to stop the SAFE-T Act's no cash bail provision from being implemented next year. They say it's unconstitutional. Proponents say it's fair to those who cannot afford bail. KMOX Sports, Sunday night after the Cardinals game, St. Louis City 2 will face Tacoma in the MLS Next Pro Western Conference Final. St. Louis is one win away from going to the championship after winning 2-0 over North Texas SC in round 1. A programming note, KMOX's Nothing Impossible will move to 5 o'clock on Sunday. The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, the car crunch is easing.
New car sales expected to rise in the third quarter, but a deteriorating market for used cars suggests there's trouble ahead for automakers. The resale market often indicates where new car demand is headed. Used car giant CarMax says vehicle sales dropped 10% in the 3 months that ended in August. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's down 126 points to 29,099. And we've got debris on 70 West at Lambert Airport. Watch out there. Some stalled vehicle, 6440 West at McCausland. Stalled 55 North before Butler Hill on the right shoulder. 67 South past the Lindbergh Tunnel, left shoulder.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunny skies this afternoon, low 70s, clear, mid-upper 40s tonight, and then seasonably warm with sunshine through the weekend and into the middle of next week with high 75 to 80. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Steve DeVore in the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sunny skies, 64 in Florissant, 66 in St. Peters, and 63 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
It's 11:04 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. We've spent a good bit of time here the last couple of days following Hurricane Ian as it made landfall in Florida yesterday. We talked to a couple that lives in Venice, Florida yesterday, actually, and the day before as well, kind of before and after updates on how things are going there. Well, the destruction is hard to believe. I have friends that live not too far from like Cape Coral, Florida, which is just south of Charlotte County, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. And some of the photos are just unbelievable. The flooding, this whole downtown area of Fort Myers Beach, just completely, I don't want to call it downtown, this whole area, this kind of recreational restaurant, tourist area, just completely decimated by Hurricane Ian. And we wanted to kind of continue to follow up on this story, and we're happy to have Bill Truex with us. Bill is the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners in Charlotte County, Florida, which is just north of that area that I'm talking about, like Sanibel Island, Cape Coral, all of that, kind of just south of Charlotte County. First of all, Bill, thank you for joining us. Secondly, how are you guys all doing? How badly did you guys get hit?
Well, I appreciate you asking, and thanks for having me on. It is pretty much a war zone here, not to the same level of devastation as down south. Obviously, just literally got out of a helicopter flying the county and observing what has taken place. Of course, a lot of roofs are gone. We have had some total devastation of certain homes that are going to have to be either totally rebuilt. There's no salvaging them. One of the fire chiefs from Inglewood Fire District lost his house on the Peace River due to surge. And so we're looking at a combination of things right now. There's no power anywhere. Well, there's power in parts of the county. I take that back. Anywhere in West County where I'm from, there's no power over there. There's no water service over there right now. And there's only a few service stations open for fuel, which is creating a traffic nightmare at those locations.
So you mentioned that there's some inland flooding. I know everybody knows that you guys are right on the ocean, at least a big part of your county is, but there are also all of those inlets. You mentioned the river, there's the harbor there as well. And I have to imagine that a lot of the trouble is kind of surrounding that, right?
That is correct. I actually have a friend of mine that lives off the Myakka River, and he got water up to his front step and lost his roof, and pool cages damaged and things like that. A number of cages are down. Obviously, that's a kind of a weak structure in comparison to the homes, but it's obvious that the new building codes have done a tremendous amount to benefit people from the total devastation that you see older construction face.
Well, just for we live here in Missouri, so things are a little bit different. We do have flooding, but it's not quite the same as what you're dealing with now, or the way it came about. When you're talking about those building codes, what sort of things are houses or homes that are being built now? What happens now as opposed to, say, 15, 20 years ago?
There are requirements for better tie down, more strapping to hold the trusses, as well as more steel and concrete within the concrete block walls. If they're built that way, they tie down into the footers. And that doesn't matter how many stories it is. It could be a 3-story concrete structure. It could be a 3-story frame structure, but there's a requirement of specific tie down and shear wall sections, which is usually in high wind corners where you have additional tie down and bracing that goes in there to secure those homes at a much better level.
I know as you look ahead in the areas surrounding you, look ahead to rebuilding and just cleaning up from just an incredible amount of damage, that there's a concern with the scope of Ian, that even the insurance companies in the area, there are some insurance companies that might not be able to handle all of the claims and may find themselves insolvent at the time when people need the help most. What kind of preparation can you take to help anticipate that, or is that something that you are concerned about in your area?
I'm definitely concerned about it. I had a meeting with the CFO, Jimmy Petronas, yesterday, and the governor. They were in our EOC, and we're going to set up an insurance village, and we've got a FEMA rep he's coming into the area to make certain that they have access not only to the insurance companies, but to FEMA to make those claims. And because of the magnitude of this, President Biden did declare us as a 100% reimbursable county, which is going to be beneficial both to the county and the expense that's being put out, as well as the residents here.
Do you have an idea right now of the amount of rescues, people missing, that sort of thing, or is it still being assessed?
It's still being assessed. They had 31 people on Little Gasparilla Island, which is a by boat community only, that stayed. All are safe out there. They did not have the storm surge. If they would have, I'm not sure it would be the same result. The beach areas did not get storm surge, so those areas are less damaged than you would think. The Rotunda area, which if you look at a map is a wagon wheel, so to speak, and that area got hit pretty hard. There was some flooding in an older section there. A lot of roofs, cages, and things like that destroyed. There were 10 confirmed fatalities, but we don't know if those were per the storm. Some were actually, we believe, pre-storm, but the ME has to make all those determinations before we actually release the official results of those investigations. There's going to be nearly 800 troops on the ground from the National Guard today, and that's going to help us to expedite traffic flow, recovery, clean up along the streets. I know that in West County, they have not gotten some of the power lines up off the road, which means we won't see power over in that area for quite some time because we have a lot of poles to righten and or replace along many major roadways.
Bill Truex is with us. He is the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners in Charlotte County, Florida. And obviously, you guys, again, are just north of Cape Coral and Sanibel Island, a little bit south of Sarasota. So kind of like right in the middle of these areas that we've heard quite a bit more about in terms of the lead up to this. So, Bill, this is probably a loaded question, but what do you think is the biggest challenge to get going on that cleanup? I mean, is it just making sure that people are safe first, and then you can proceed with all of that?
It's a combination. I mean, it's a great question. We want to make sure people are safe. At the same time, we don't want to wait to deploy. So as our push crews go out and open up the main roads, what they'll do is they will actually call back, and we have disaster recovery companies here that will assist us in debris cleanup. So as the homeowners get their debris to the curb, then these companies come in and they will be picking it up. All of that has to be documented for FEMA as to quantities so that reimbursement can take place.
So you will be getting the federal help, as you mentioned. What sort of outside help are you going to need? Because in times like this, we find that people around the country are really good about helping out areas that have been devastated, even if it's thousands of miles away. So what sort of assistance do you think your area and the state of Florida is going to be looking for?
I think that's yet to be determined exactly. I know that there are funds set up or places that you can send money to, whether it's at the Florida level, if you want to volunteer. Unfortunately, I don't have all that information with me, having just got out of the helicopter, but I can tell you that there are, if you reach out to Charlotte County government, via email, we will respond. I believe that we have the link set up on our homepage.
Bill, we really appreciate your time. I know you're very busy, so we'll let you get back to work. Good luck with everything. Stay safe, and hopefully you guys get things rebuilt and going again here in the not-too-distant future.
Well, thanks so much. And I have to say one thing before I go. Go Cardinals.
I
Oh,
love it, Bill. Thank you so
all
much.
right.
We appreciate it. That's Bill Truex. He is the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners in Port Charlotte, Florida. Like everybody else down there, dealing with tremendous damage. I mean, you've seen the pictures of different places around there, and some of it is just absolute, completely total destruction.
Boats where boats shouldn't be.
The pathways,
Stuff like that.
the causeways to get to places like Sanibel Island are
Destroyed,
just gone.
yeah.
That's crazy to see those causeways just gone. And especially, I mean, anybody, think of how many times you talk to a St. Louis family that goes to Florida for vacation, and you name any one of those areas. We've all been there, and you have your memory from your vacation, your family, you're at the pool, you're at a restaurant, you're shopping, and then to see it flattened, it's very surreal. And again, our prayers are for everyone in Florida, and especially as they continue the rescue missions. It's a lot to clean up, and you're trying to recover from it, and also make sure people are safe.
Yeah. And now the Carolinas are in the path.
Right.
It's back to being a hurricane again. South Carolina, North Carolina, both of them, in those people in both of those states kind of preparing, hopefully not for the worst, but certainly preparing for their share of all of this as the hurricane makes its way up the coast now on the Atlantic side of the country. All right, coming up in a little bit, we're going to talk to Andrew Egger from the Dispatch. He's a St. Louis guy, by the way.
Yes.
He wrote about the lawsuit being filed against the White House, against the government when it comes to student loan cancellation. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Up next, Chris Ranji is going to tell us how he often eats in the shower. What?
That's disgusting.
All right, maybe he won't tell us that. We'll get into it next on the show.
We play to win.
There's a comebacker. Helsley has it on the mound. Runs toward first. Flips to Goldschmidt. And the Cardinals can celebrate.
Congratulations, St. Louis Cardinals. We play to win.
A Central Division title.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Hello, my name is Chad with ClaimingGroup.com. I have another happy client of ours that just sold their house as is.
Hey, my name is Tish. I called a real estate agent first. They told me I had to do like 75 things just to prepare my house for sale. I called the Claiming Group and spoke with Chad and his team, and they bought my house when I had to do anything at all.
If you want a simple solution to your real estate needs as well, reach out today. 314-946-9999. 946-9999. ClaimingGroup.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. September is World Ozone Month, so it's a great month to get rid of all your aerosol sprays and replace them with eco-friendly options. Also, check your air conditioner to make sure it doesn't have any leaks and schedule any necessary repairs or maintenance. And lastly, use your car less by walking or biking to close destinations. The ozone layer will thank you. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Hi, I'm Mandy Moore. Stand Up to Cancer is closer than ever before to achieving its mission to make every cancer patient into a long-term survivor. To learn more and get Advantage miles, go to standuptocancer.org/American Airlines.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
This time of year, you might notice that the brick in your patio is going astray. Call Morelli. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan for Morelli Tuck Pointing, which has won every award possible in this industry, including the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to companies with exceptional customer service. Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis and beyond for 31 years. Morelli can do completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches, patios, caulking, waterproofing solutions, and much more. Family owned and operated, and a lot of longtime employees that are like family. Call and request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387 or online at MorelliTuckPointing.com. And don't forget to check out their great reviews on the Google and Better Business Bureau websites. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
You had a solid retirement dream, sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since Truehold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
Nearly a century of informing, entertaining, and serving St. Louis. KMOX.
You have a garbage disposal in your bathtub?
Oh, yeah, and I use it all the time. Yeah, I made this whole meal in there.
This food was in the shower with you?
Mm-hmm. I prepared it as I bathed.
That's so gross.
What?
It's so gross.
It really is disgusting,
So
isn't
you're
it?
eating in the shower?
No, I'm not eating in the shower. So I saw this tweet
Oh.
yesterday, and I don't know a context. I don't want to know a context, but the tweet was this: just reporting to so-and-so, some person, that after I asked about the various foods to eat in a shower, a friend tried the sausage in the shower and said it was good. So apparently there's a thing where some people, it may be very, very few, I have to imagine it's not very many people, are eating in the shower.
Mhm.
Would you ever in your life,
No.
like I think I've taken a bite of food, been chewing on it, and then like got into the shower because I was
Wow,
like
what a
getting
quick transition.
Well, I know.
Were you
Well, like I
naked
don't
in
know.
the kitchen?
He's
I don't know. Maybe.
He's like, nope. Gotta eat this on my way.
Maybe.
You took a bite of food, and before you were done chewing the food, you were in the shower?
Yeah, like maybe I'm getting ready to go out, right? I'm in a rush.
Maybe
I'm,
it's
I'm,
taffy,
I'm,
Amy. Maybe it took a long time to chew.
It's possible. Yeah. You know I love my taffy. So
Listen to that! Listen to that!
Yeah.
Oh, baby!
It's gross. Super gross.
Are you
So
100 who eats taffy?
I don't know. I don't eat taffy. Only the saltwater kind. Saltwater
And only on vacation.
And only on vacation. So
Okay.
I mean, there are times where, I'm getting ready, going to go out, got to eat something real quick. So maybe I take my last bite and then while I'm chewing, get undressed, get in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I've done that. But I can't imagine ever taking food
Like a ham
into the
sandwich.
shower.
A ham sandwich into the
Like,
shower.
how would that even work?
Yeah.
And the bread gets all wet.
Well, so
Yeah,
you guys are thinking of the gross side of it. I'm thinking of the impracticality of it. Like, what could you even eat in there that's not a pain in the butt?
Well, it'd have to be something that's
Well, this
not
guy-
porous.
Sorry,
Well, like taffy.
Something's not gonna get soggy
an
or fall
apple?
apart in water.
Right.
Well, I guess that would work.
But why
apple,
would you
yeah.
eat an apple?
Yeah,
Now,
why would you do that?
If anyone has an opinion, I'm sure it's Andrew Stoll, the producer of the Glover Show.
Because he sits in the
He's
shower.
a big fan of sitting in the shower.
Oh,
But
I've
you
done
can't
that.
eat in the dark because he also
does it in the
he sits in the shower in the dark.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Like you can't eat popcorn. Popcorn would be the worst thing to eat in the shower.
I don't know if it'd
Pretty
be
much.
the worst, but
Yeah,
I think it would be soup.
it'd be on the list. Well, no, but that's yeah.
You would eat soup in
You
the
kinda
shower.
No, I think that
watering
would
it
be the
down.
worst thing to eat in the shower.
You think?
Now,
I think
yeah,
anything with bread would be the grossest.
well, bread for sure, but the crackers are in the soup, and all you're doing is just watering down your soup.
Right.
I have, and I believe we've talked about this before, but I will never stop advocating for the shower beer.
No.
I think the shower beer is the best.
It's
fine.
Okay,
It
do
is
you have
the
to get
best.
the beer super cold?
Yes.
Because a
yes.
warm beer sounds
So
disgusting.
How long
here's
are you
what
in
you're-
the shower though? Like you're not
Right.
going to be in there for 20 minutes.
No, you're in there like
5 minutes. The beer's going to
minutes or
stay
so.
cold.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So here's
but you
here's
need
the
a beer in that 5 minutes?
Yeah, you're getting ready to have fun. Like you don't have fun, so you wouldn't know. But if you were getting
Yeah.
ready, if you were getting ready to,
Ron likes to have a lot of fun in the shower.
Hey now.
well, good Lord, Amy,
You just
reel
said.
it in. But
Hey,
when
now.
you're about to go out, you're about to go out of the house. You're going to go meet some friends. You want to pregame a little bit. Well, you might have a shower beer. So you get the ice cold beer, bottle, can, doesn't matter. You take it into the bathroom, into the shower with you, and
Where do you
while
set
you're
it?
well, like right there on the ledge, right next to the shower, and you reach out and you grab it, you take a swig, and the hot, steamy shower that you're in with the ice cold can of beer. It's just a great
How
combination.
about this?
What about the soap?
Awesome.
Would you watch TV in the shower or watch something on
No.
on your phone?
No.
So we just got a text from our
Okay.
boss who says his son will do that. His phone is waterproof. He'll hear him listen. We'll like have a show on in there. Now I'll say
Now
this. Now, like I know people that listen. Like I have listened to music like that. My wife listens to podcasts a lot of times while doing all
I'll
that.
listen to the radio.
But a TV show's kind
Yeah.
of weird, right? Like how do you watch unless you're just listening to it?
Doesn't the screen get steamy?
I would have to.
It would have. Well, again, it depends because I am not a hot shower person. I'm like a lukewarm shower
You know what?
person.
Oh my
That
gosh,
is so surprising.
That's psychotic.
You see? No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, no.
I-
if it's not, it has to hurt when you first.
No,
get it.
that's ridiculous.
No.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
totally ridiculous.
No, it has to be so hot that you can barely get
No,
out.
that's stupid.
I like the shower warmer than a swimming pool, but not by a whole lot.
Oof, awful.
I like it a little warmer than you like that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the scalding hot
Yeah,
shower.
In the
take
summer,
It doesn't
it's
make
always
sense.
a cold shower in the summer. Always.
Well, in the
Mm.
summer, I don't take a scalding hot shower. It's lukewarm in the summer.
Yeah. So if
But-
I take a warm shower in the summer, I will be sweating for the next hour.
Yeah.
Now that makes
So
sense.
I don't
Yep.
do that.
In the
Yep.
winter, though, like you get chilled to the bone, especially you're running or you're active outside doing yard work, whatever it is, you sweat. As soon as you come in, you start to cool down. And so then you're chilled to the bone. So you take a hot shower and then you have to warm up in the steam.
I would like to know if anybody has done a shower beer.
I would like to know if anybody's
314-436-7900.
eaten in the shower.
Or eaten in the shower, yeah. But the shower beer is a thing. It's
dumb.
No, you're dumb.
Just a text. We got a text that says, "How come none of us has ever bought an apple on a rope?" You guys don't get the soap on a rope joke, do you?
Oh yeah,
That's kind of a 70s thing.
There was like soap on a
On a
rope
rope.
that you wore around your neck.
No, you hung
right?
it on the shower thingy so it wouldn't.
Did you hang it around your neck? I've seen.
No, you dummy.
I've seen movies where people have it around their neck. Yes, I swear.
You're talking about prison movies.
Oh, maybe that could have been it. I
That's just how
swear,
you-
though.
But it's just how you transport
Dave,
it.
back me up. You've seen a show where a guy's wearing a rope and the soap's at the end of the thing, wear it like a necklace.
If you had the soap around your neck, how would you do your feet?
Yeah.
Well, you take the thing off and you wash
Right, well, so
yourself
it's
and you put it back on.
It might be a mode of transportation if you're in a setting like prison
I
where you
swear
have to
I've
bring
seen
your
it.
stuff back and forth. Maybe a sports thing. I've never seen it though.
I've never
I don't
seen
think
that.
I've ever seen soap on a rope.
I've
just
never
know
seen
was
it in
a thing
person
when I was a kid.
Only
think-
seen it on TV.
I saw it in person one time. I was a little kid, and I'm pretty sure my grandpa had soap on a rope, but it was only one time.
Only one time.
Yeah, because it's not like I remember. I mean, I obviously
Hey.
would stay at my grandparents' house, and you'd go.
Look, here I just
No.
Googled a photo of a guy.
That
He's got a
guy's-
soap around his neck,
Yeah, that's not.
That's where. What's he doing?
Yeah.
standing in a bath towel.
No, I just you go to your grandparents' house, and you remember going to the bathroom.
I don't know. It
We
just,
got a lot of texts coming in,
All
Ron.
right, let's see what they're saying.
See, 314 says, I've done and enjoy shower beers.
Yes, they're wonderful.
618, shower beer is the best. Even my wife does it.
Yep.
And only, let's see, and only Amy would do the yard work in the winter. LOL.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
don't chop wood?
Yeah. Oh, that's not yard work.
Listen,
It's
That's
not
different.
yard work?
No, yard work is like mowing the lawn, trimming the bushes, doing that nonsense.
Well, you're out in the yard and you're working and you're splitting firewood.
so it's Draft Friday. It's Fun Police Friday. It is Shower Beer Friday too.
There you go.
Have a shower beer tonight before you
I guarantee
before you
this.
hit the town.
If you put that into your plans for the weekend on the show police, Raji will let you go free.
Yeah, what I don't care what other thing you're doing. If you're having a shower beer, you are free to go.
Oh my
All right, coming up next, we're going to get into the lawsuit that's trying to go against the student loan cancellation program. I'll tell you a bit about it when we come back.
KMOX, built for moments like this.
Hurricane Ian, the damage that was done has been historic. Thousands of houses have been damaged and destroyed.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history.
Built for moments like this.
The Cardinals can celebrate a Central Division title.
And built for moments like this.
A swing, and there it goes! Left field, way back. That's home run number 700.
Hear every moment at 98.7 FM, 1120 AM, and always streaming on the Odyssey app.
What's more important than profit? At Easter Fence Deck and Renovations, our family name is, you, our customers and friends are. A job well done and doing what's right is more important than profit. Hi, I'm Chuck Easter. In business for over 60 years, we've not lost sight of the fact that a good name is more desirable than great riches. When the Easter name is on your fence, deck, or sunroom, you know it was done right with integrity, pride, and great care. Our focus is on you, not our bottom line. Call 314-892-8500 or easterfence.com.
Busey Bank, leading the way to your financial wellness. No matter where your financial journey begins, Pathways banking options at Busey are designed with your goals in mind. Busey Bank, building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Busey, your partner in building business and growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED, but what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
At 11:30, it's sunny and 64 degrees downtown at the Arch. Ian recovery continues in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis says search and rescue is underway, along with making sure that those who remained in their homes are fine.
As of last night, we've contacted over 20,000 Floridians that filled out a shelter-in-place survey on floridadisaster.org. Over 10,000 have responded, and all 10,000 said they were safe.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken blasted Moscow today for its annexation of 4 regions of Ukraine in a ceremony at the Kremlin. The U.S. has also imposed additional sanctions on Russian officials and those assisting Russia in its war on Ukraine.
We will hold to account any individual, entity, or country that provides political or economic support for President Putin's illegal attempts to change the status of Ukrainian territory.
The method used to track COVID in cities will now be used for schools in Illinois. The Department of Public Health is starting a pilot program to monitor wastewater on 20 campuses over the next 6 months.
If we see signs that there's a rapid increase in COVID-19 virus, then schools can take action to protect students and staff if they need to.
Spokesman Mike Caffey says the surveillance will also test for influenza outbreaks. The University of Illinois will conduct the testing. Emergency vehicles on I-170 south before Interstate 70. The left lane is closed. Debris on 70 west at Lambert. Stalled vehicle 6440 west at McCausland. Watch out there. Forecast from Dean DeVore this afternoon. Plenty of sun with a high of 73. Clear tonight, the low 49. Tomorrow through Wednesday, sunny and warm with a high 75 to 80. It's 64 degrees at the moment downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This is Ken. And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
McKnight Place Assisted Living and Memory Care. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years. Features luxury accommodations and exceptional service. At McKnight Place, residents enjoy spacious apartments, walking paths through lush gardens, fine dining, engaging activities, and more. As a trusted expert in senior living, they are there for you and your family. Questions? Concerns? Call McKnight Place at 314-993-3333 or visit McKnightPlace.com.
Got a special for you from Beast Plumbing on reverse osmosis systems. In the month of September, $100 off for your home or business. Reverse osmosis systems produce cleaner water, it saves you money, and are better for the environment. $100 off reverse osmosis systems. Don't miss out. Plus, Beast Plumbing is growing by leaps and bounds, and they are hiring for many positions. You will love the culture they offer. Check it out, BEISplumbing.com, or call them 314-698-1154. Tell them both sent you to Beast Plumbing.
Sunday night, it's St. Louis City 2 soccer action.
Right football in front. Olstruck, he scores!
The Western Conference Final between City 2 and Tacoma. Pre-game at 7:15. And you can catch all the action here on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Coming up on 11:34 on the show, Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. And for this segment, joined by Andrew Egger. He's associate editor of The Dispatch. Wrote recently about a lawsuit filed to put a stop to the student loan cancellation program. And we're going to ask you about that in just a second, Andrew. But before we do anything,
don't do it.
You got to pass the
Don't
test.
do it.
You're a St. Louis guy. Where'd you go to high school?
Oh, God.
I always dread this. when I come on St. Louis shows. I went to a little high school called Providence Classical Christian Academy in Sunset Hills.
There
Very
you go.
small, like 120 kids, K through 12. I lived across from Lindbergh High School.
Good shout out. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining
We
us.
appreciate it. And I know, potentially your parents could be listening. So we had this big scandalous expose, digging into your past, but we'll skip over that for today.
That's nice. Yes, I'm one of these days it's going to catch up with me, but I appreciate it for now.
All right. You wrote a piece for The Dispatch looking at the first lawsuit against President Biden's student loan forgiveness. It was anticipated that there would be lawsuits against this. It would just come down to how it would be presented, who would have standing. And the Pacific Legal Foundation has the first lawsuit. I believe they're representing Frank Garrison, who is saying that he will suffer direct economic hardship as a result of the student loan forgiveness. Can you explain a little bit about his standing, what they were looking for in this lawsuit, and how it will move forward?
Yeah, definitely. So basically the main legal challenge to this program is super easy to understand. Biden is trying to allocate money for this cancellation without any congressional approval, and the constitutional argument is that he shouldn't be allowed to do that. Congress has the power of the purse. But the thornier question is who has legal standing to actually come before a court and say, I'm being specifically harmed by this, and therefore I should be able to challenge this thing on constitutional grounds before a judge. So the argument that the Pacific Legal Foundation brought forward, that this plaintiff, Mr. Garrison, is actually one of their lawyers, but he lives in Indiana. Indiana is a state that taxes, that is planning to tax the student loan forgiveness as income. And so the argument that he brought forward was, I'm actually going to see a tax bill that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. If I hadn't gotten this forgiveness, I'm already in a program where you do public service work for a decade and you get your loans forgiven. So this is actually not going to be a financial benefit to me at all. It will in fact only be a penalty. And the argument going in was that would get his toe in the door, basically just to be able to establish standing and then be able to talk about the broader kind of constitutional question and actually fight the suit there. What we've now seen yesterday, there was a new development in this thing. The Biden administration kind of very quickly patched in basically an opt-out to the program. There wasn't anything up on the website before. They threw something up on the website that says, by the way, you actually don't have to take this money if you don't want to take this money. And the judge that they initially brought this case before basically said, okay, so now the facts on the ground have changed a little bit. Because of that, they essentially denied the Pacific Legal Foundation's request for a preliminary injunction that they were hoping to kind of stop the program short while the case went ahead. So it's a little bit in flux now because the PLF was hoping, to get that injunction, stop the payments from going out at all, and then basically be able to fight on these grounds. Now they're kind of having to back up, regroup. Probably it's not the case that anything's going to happen before some of this relief starts to actually take place. So it's been a little bit more up in the air. But this is the first, like you say, first big kind of legal challenge to this program.
There is a hypothesis out there that the Biden administration did all of this because politically it would look good, or the administration believes it would look good, but privately knew that eventually it was going to get struck down in court. So they get the benefit of it not actually happening, but they tried to do it. So politically it looks good. Do you think that could be close to truth?
It's hard for me to speculate about kind of the internal motivation of the Biden administration. I do not have any particularly well-placed sources in the Justice Department for that sort of thing. I will say that first of all, they are actually fighting the thing. They didn't just sort of roll over and say, you gotta better luck next time, I guess. And I do think that what they're doing is not incompatible with what you're saying, because essentially, like, the lawsuits are going to keep coming. The Justice Department is going to keep slapping them down. And so you have this weird political dynamic where insofar as loan forgiveness plays well for Biden, all the legal challenges are likely to play well for Biden as well, because they can essentially keep bringing it back up and saying, look, here's another group of those, cruel Republicans trying to slap down the loan forgiveness that we are trying very hard to get to you. And as opposed to it just being kind of a one-time story a month or two before the election, perhaps, repeated headlines like the ones we're talking about, on a weekly basis or something like that up to the election and through. So, I mean, obviously, yes, enormous political calculation going into the thing in the first place. A lot of economists didn't really like it, didn't really think it was like a particularly, progressive redistributive program or anything like that. But I don't know. I can't speak specifically to the question of, like, do they actually want to see it struck down?
Well, that's the other thing, is that there were a lot of people who believe that he was doing it for the optics of it, because he thought the optics were good, but there was so much pushback against it. I'm wondering if politically it is to his advantage to do this in the first place, because there are a lot of people who seem to not like this.
Yeah, I think that the calculation is probably just that, yes, there are people who are mad about it, but that those are not, there doesn't seem to be a large cohort of people who are mad about it and for whom that's becoming kind of their primary voting concern as they go into the midterms. And I think one way that we've seen this, I do a lot of campaign coverage, and you haven't seen a ton of Republicans reaching out with this as like a primary, like, inflection point as they're going into their own races. And part of that's, because it's unilateral executive action. They can't, if you're in the Senate, you can't be like, my opponent voted for this because there was no vote for it. But I think that, like, Republicans are largely right now keeping their eye on the ball as far as just like inflation and runaway spending and some of these previous concerns from social stuff. And so I think for Biden, the hope was, Republicans are going to keep hitting that stuff, and maybe this gives me a boost with, younger college educated voters who have become kind of the more disgruntled members of his 2020 coalition. I guess they see it as an upside play, and I guess we'll find out in a couple of months.
And you mentioned the Biden administration scaling back some of its debt relief, saying, yeah, you don't really need to take this. Yesterday, the Education Department also said that it would no longer allow borrowers with federal student loans owned by private entities to even qualify for the relief program. Initially, this was part of the group that could get $10,000 up to $20,000 of loan forgiveness. I don't know how significant of a chunk of the debt relief that applied to, but I imagine that is a big deal for a lot of people who thought they would be getting some relief.
Yeah, there's definitely a danger there. And I do wonder, because yesterday was when we saw all of these changes rolled out by the Biden administration. you could very easily imagine a scenario where, they're like, okay, plainly these conservative legal groups are out here kicking the tires on the lawsuit, on finding a way to file this lawsuit in a way that'll stick. Is there, some like weird connection of these private public loans? People who have that, is that another plaintiff that we could get kind of sucker punched by coming up through and trying to close those loopholes ahead of time? Because it was not at all a foregone conclusion that the judge would say, look, it looks like this problem you've identified no longer exists. A lot of judges have kind of a reluctance to like kind of reward the behavior of like kind of changing institutional rules specifically to help you out in your lawsuit. So that's insofar as there's more of these plaintiffs that are likely to be coming forward, I would not be at all surprised that the Biden administration is trying to play a little bit of whack-a-mole ahead of time.
So, Andrew, when you look at you kind of zoom out from this is one specific story about this particular program, but we've brought up, and I know I have with a number of guests in recent weeks, this is all stemming from the HEROES Act, but I brought up this idea that one of the problems involved here is that it's just too much freedom, leeway, power given to the executive. And it seems to be that when each side has the executive, they have no problem using that power to do these types of things, which often look like they're for political gain rather than just doing something that is actually just better for people. Is that kind of at the root moving forward of what we really should be paying attention to, is how much we can claw some of that back?
Oh, yeah, no, without question. You're absolutely right. I think what we saw some under Trump and now some under Biden is just a growing willingness of the president to really just kind of dare Congress and dare the American people to care about them yanking these kind of emergency powers so far wide open to just kind of drive a Mack truck of domestic policy through. I mean, these statutes are written broadly and vaguely for a reason. It's because you want emergency powers specifically in those crisis situations that aren't predictable and like aren't, that you could anticipate ahead of time what that ought to look like and get it written down in law. But one thing that we have seen, and there actually has been some movement about this in both the House and the Senate, and among both Republicans and Democrats, is specifically some movement on the question of giving Congress a say and kind of slamming the door on some of these emergency declarations. So you wouldn't actually have to go through and like revise the HEROES Act and revise the other 150 pieces of federal law that give the president this emergency power or that emergency power. You would just need to give Congress more of a control over what gets to be an emergency. So these would automatically expire after a couple months unless Congress specifically reauthorized them. And one of these laws one of these bills actually passed the House last December as a sort of a rider on a bigger Protecting Our Democracy Act. There's been some movement on it in the Senate. Nothing's come forward to a floor vote yet. And obviously, presidents don't like to have their powers constrained. So the question is whether you could get over a veto. But there have been some encouraging legislative signs on that front.
Andrew, lastly, before we let you go, this is a question. It's not a statement. How dare Lizzo play James Madison's crystal flute?
See, okay. I am not a woodwind player. I grew up playing violin. I don't know if you guys saw there was a second video of her. I mean, there was the one where she was like up on stage and everybody had their takes on it, but I did not know that she was like a really good, how do you pronounce it?
Classical. Well, yeah, we had that debate the other day.
They said flutist.
It's got to be flutist.
Both of them are correct. Flutist sounds
she's
better.
classically trained.
She's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I wish she'd played more on stage. But like that other video that came out I was like, wow, okay. I was if the current career trajectory ever dries up, go join the symphonic orchestra, I guess.
Go the way of the flute.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, I've seen on your Twitter that you proudly represent the St. Louis Cardinals if you ever find yourself at Nationals games. So we've got a good playoff run ahead of us.
Yes, ma'am. No, you'd be surprised how many of them there are out here. You kind of get that kind of hometown crowd flair every once in a while when they're in town.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, looking forward to it. Got a big weekend this weekend, and of course the playoffs starting a week from today. Andrew, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing this and for playing around with us. We'll definitely reach out again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
You got it. Andrew Egger, associate editor of the Dispatch, and of course, as he mentioned, St. Louis native Cardinals fan. And we'll get to some more of that at 12:30 with the Cardinals. Anyway, the regular season wrapping up here in the next 5 or 6 days, 3 more games at home and then 3 in Pittsburgh. And then a week from today, the wild card round starts. So we'll get to that next week. But coming up at 12:30, our Redbird Report for today. Up next, a little bit more on like how long it can take to get back to normal after COVID, after having COVID, and how it's different from person to person. And I think it's been different for each one of us in here. I don't think either of us or any of us are alike. We'll talk about that next up on the show.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase. Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life. Over the past decade, Coalition Life has served thousands of women in crisis pregnancies, helping to save the lives of the children that they carry. Help us build a better community while also reducing or completely eliminating your Missouri taxes with a 70% tax credit. A $1,000 donation today to help these women could cost you as little as $141 out of pocket. Learn more at coalitionlife.com, coalitionlife.com. Thank you.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The World Trade Center St. Louis is hosting its annual Growing Global Luncheon Friday, September 30th at the Ritz-Carlton in Clayton. With the successful launch of direct flights to Europe, Growing Global 2022 will explore international connectivity and the value and impact of connecting our community and businesses in a 21st century global economy. Registration and sponsorships are available at worldtradecenter-stl.com. Reserve your spot now and join us for Growing Global September 30th.
Lombardo Homes welcomes you to Sutton Farms in Wentzville, a sprawling new custom home community grand opening on Saturday, October 8th. Sutton Farms offers a private, rural setting with the added bonus of nearby shopping and dining on Wentzville Parkway. Loved for its spacious home sites, Sutton Farms is also close to the Splash Station Aquatic Center and Wentzville Rec Center. Be one of the first 3 purchasers at Sutton Farms, and we'll provide a 2-year membership to one or the other. Join us on Saturday, October 8th, and start your home building journey. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com. When choosing a skilled nursing memory care community, choose Park Provence. Considered by U.S. News and World Reports as a best memory care community for nearly 20 years, they've been the experts at treating dementia and Alzheimer's disease. If you're faced with making a difficult decision for your loved one, talk to the leaders at memory care at Park Provence. Learn more by calling 314-542-5200 or visit parkprovence.com. That's PARC Provence.com.
Join the Foundation Fighting Blindness at the St. Louis Vision Walk on Saturday, October 1st at Creve Coeur Lake Park to help find cures to diseases that cause blindness. Visit visionwalk.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
This is the show.
The show continues on KMOX.
Sort of kicking around before the show, kind of the differences in how we've all come through COVID. And I think, Ron, when we've talked about it, you and I seem to have had similar experiences where you had it, you kind of get over it in a week or so. I know the first time I had it, it took me forever to test negative because that was back when you had to have a negative test before you could come back to work. And it took me like 10 days to get the negative test, even though I was fine after like 4 days or
You
5
had your
days,
first, was it September?
It was actually
a year ago, right?
A year ago, it was. I tested positive on Halloween. So,
okay, yeah. So almost a year ago.
Almost a year ago was the first time I had it, and that was the one where I was like, it was like 4 days, and then I'm fine. Fever's gone. I still have a little cough, but it's gone. But then it took another 10, 11 days after that just to get the negative test so I could come back. And obviously the standards have all changed. The second time was similar, though. It was a few days of minor symptoms and then kind of back to normal. With a little cough hanging around. But the only thing I've noticed long term, I think, is what you mentioned, is that there are days where I feel like more tired than I normally would, but I also have a different schedule than I used to have. You know,
so that's what I don't know if it's because I'm getting up
know,
earlier. Yeah, that's
I'm getting
true.
Up earlier, and it's still, I still don't always go to bed as early as I want to.
Right.
And I don't think it's COVID. I think it's that. I don't think I have anything that I can say this is something that stuck with me from COVID. But then Amy was talking about having a different experience, and obviously it's probably more acute for you because of your running.
Right. I think that's the reason why I noticed it. So I had COVID back in May, and it knocked me down for about a week, and then I started running again on day 8, and really probably pushed too much to run my marathon, which was 3 weeks after I basically got better. Right.
Okay.
So 4 weeks after the positive test. And I knew it was pushing it. What I didn't realize is how long the COVID chest pain would linger. My primary symptom was chest pain. It felt like I was breathing fire, and my chest just hurt. And the thing is, I saw other people who got COVID around the same time, had the super high fevers, they had body aches, they had sniffling. I had none of that. I had a dry cough and chest pain for 5 or 6 days. Well, I had a horrific marathon. I felt like I had an asthma attack at mile 8. So I know that wasn't normal. But what I noticed was when I ran fast, a harder effort, I would have a wheezing, almost like an asthma attack. And I don't have asthma, never had asthma, but it's what I imagine it would feel like that inflamed where you're wheezing for air. I would have that when I started running fast. And then that pain would last 5 to 8 days after like a single workout.
So it would stay there.
It would stay. And Ronj, you noticed that it would take like heavy breaths, like in the office.
Well, or just sitting here
Yeah.
In the studio, I could tell that every now and then you did that. And I wondered if you felt like you were out of breath or if it was just sort of happening subconsciously.
New habit, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of both, because when I would take the deep breaths, it would be because like I can't fill up my lungs, right? And so I am really excited to say that 3.5 months later, I have done 2 workouts now that were hard efforts, no chest pain and no wheezing.
Good.
So I think I'm back to
How
normal.
long?
3.5 months.
3.5 months later before you got to like
Back to normal. Yes.
with the running and all of that.
And I did the Biz Dash 5K. I ran that hard. I did a hard workout yesterday. No wheezing, no chest pain. But I was talking to another friend who's a runner, and he said it took him 6 months before he.
Wow.
And again, this is a hard effort, so no doctor is going to care.
So,
really, but,
no. But I wonder how many people are actually dealing with it, but it's so minor, and you wouldn't know unless
unless you push
you're
yourself.
a marathon runner,
right?
Yeah.
Which is not a thing that people typically do.
Right.
People run for exercise, but they don't run at the pace or the length that you do it, or the people that do it.
Right. And to your point, some people I know who aren't marathon runners said, I don't have anything wrong, except I notice when I go upstairs.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
That would be the
That's
same
really
idea,
interesting. Yeah.
right? That would be that because the stairs can spike your heart rate pretty quickly. And so my guess is maybe they were dealing with the same lingering issue.
Well, glad you're feeling better.
Thanks. Back to normal.
You know what
your version of normal.
Well,
the best cure is a shower beer.
We have a ton of agreement on that on the text line, by
Oh,
the way.
God, it's great.
I mean, we got at least, 10 messages of people saying,
Yeah.
yep, shower beer is
We
the
got an
go-to.
email. Somebody emailed the newsroom
Nice. That's the
about
right
shower beers.
All right, we got our Friday draft coming up next. Today, we are drafting Tom Hanks movies.
Yes.
As we wind down the lazy days of summer, it may be the best time yet to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck and have them create that outdoor space that you've really wanted. As the temperatures start to cool, imagine just sitting on your beautiful new back deck watching the leaves turn and fall, or maybe sitting in your screen room or custom sunroom, maybe with a little heater on if it gets chilly, drinking your hot cocoa or coffee. Chesterfield Fence and Deck does amazing work. They've been around for 54 years, a third-generation family-owned company. Quality is what they do. So it is truly a value when you hire Chesterfield Fence and Deck, because they always use the highest quality products and the best craftsmanship, because they have their own crews with years of experience. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they will take 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Visit them in person in the Chesterfield Valley or online at chesterfieldfence.com. Let's talk real estate for a minute. The St. Louis market is kind of tricky for home sellers right now, with home values going down and not selling as quickly. Now is not the time to risk losing precious equity on your home. This is Debbie Monterey, and I always recommend calling Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria's the best. She's experienced every type of market, both good, great, and the not so good. So before you list your home for sale, call Gloria, and here's why. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself, guaranteed in writing. Gloria already has the buyers, thousands of buyers in her database. In fact, your home may already be sold. Gary and Angela called Gloria and sold their home even before it listed, because Gloria had several buyers looking for a home in that area. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sure, we all love to have a clean home, but what about the things that you can't see that are making your home dirty? I'm talking about germs, bacteria, mold, and more. This is Debbie Monterey, and you really need to call Beam of St. Louis if you want a truly healthy home. Beam of St. Louis can provide you with a whole house HEPA air filtration system that provides HEPA pure air 24/7 in every room in your home. It'll help reduce allergy symptoms without a prescription. For the healthiest home possible, make sure you have a Beam Central Vacuum System. It removes 100% of the collected germs, bacteria, mold, and dust. So, a Beam Central Vacuum System and a Beam Whole House HEPA Air Filtration System. The folks at Beam of St. Louis are great to work with, fantastic customer service, one-day installation. Give them a call at 314-567-1515 or online at beamstl.com. That's Beam of St. Louis. You'll be glad you called.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's sunny and 67 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, keeping watch on Hurricane Ian.
Hurricane Ian is expected to hit the coast of South Carolina this afternoon between Charleston and Myrtle Beach. These been stocked up at a grocery store in Georgetown, South Carolina.
Canned foods and water mostly.
Yeah, we have to pick up some water, I guess. To get through the storm this week. And we're not really worried about it, but you never know with power and all that.
The storm is expected to generate damaging winds, flooding, rain, and a tornado threat into Saturday. Jim Crisula, CBS News, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Charleston resident Nash Harlow braces for the impact, but has a hunch it won't be one of the worst.
I've sat through a lot of hurricanes. This one I wasn't so worried about. Category 1. I think my earliest memory was Hurricane Hugo hitting Charlotte. And I think this one looks not that bad. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
At a Kremlin ceremony today, Russia formally annexed 4 regions of Ukraine in what the U.S. calls a brazen and illegal attempt to redraw Ukraine's borders. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick has the latest developments.
The Biden administration has announced new costs on Russia, including visa restrictions on members of the Russian military and sanctions against members of the Russian government and its Security Council. These sanctions also extend to other countries that seek to replenish tapped-out Russian military and industrial supplies.
During Thursday's taping of The Daily Show, host Trevor Noah said after 7 years of hosting, it's time to move on.
I found myself thinking throughout the time, everything we've gone through, the Trump presidency, the pandemic, just the journey of, the more pandemic, And I realized that after the 7 years, my time is up.
KMOX Sports, in a season full of big moments for the Cardinals, this home weekend promises to create another lasting memory.
Tickets are scarce for all 3 games against the Pirates. Tonight, the giveaway is a Waino bobblehead. Saturday, it's Yachty. Pujols was already given away. All 3 will fit together. Sunday, fans get a commemorative print of Waino and Yachty walking in from the bullpen. Then they'll get to see it live as the pitcher and catcher start yet another record-breaking game together. But before that, at 12:30, there's a retirement ceremony for Yachty and Pujols.
Several of our Hall of Fame players are going to come back. Adam Wainwright is actually going to speak on behalf of the team. And then both Yachty and Albert will address the crowd.
Dan Farrell, Senior VP of Cardinals Sales and Marketing. Speaking of sales, Farrell says there are still tickets available for the Cards' first-round playoff series at Busch Stadium. Scott Jagal, KMOX News.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, Amazon trimming real estate.
Amazon is closing most of its call centers and shifting hundreds of employees to remote work. Sources say call centers in Kentucky, Phoenix, and Washington State are on the chopping block. Only one, either in Houston or West Virginia, will likely remain open. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's down 123 points to 29,102. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Stalled vehicle 270 north before 6440 on the right shoulder. Debris 55 north past Merrimack Bottom Road on the right shoulder. Emergency vehicles at 170 south before Interstate 70. The left lane closed.
Sunny skies, pleasant afternoon temperatures, the high 73. Clear, seasonably chilly, mid to upper 40s to near 50 tonight, and then warming up into the upper 70s to near 80 with sunshine tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's a sunny sky, 66 in Florissant, 68 St. Peter, 67 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. The show and the draft.
The draft.
Building the perfect team.
I love the draft.
It's the draft.
More draft.
On the show.
Coming up on 12:05 on the show, Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you. Time for our weekly Friday draft. So earlier in the week, we referred to a story where Tom Hanks listed, I said, I know I've made a lot of movies, and, well, 4 of them were pretty good. And we're like, wait, what? 4 of them? You probably had 4 good ones in the last year and a half.
He's a funny guy.
He has, well, he seems to be, at least in the way he presents himself publicly, to be a relatively humble guy. But we identified more than 4 movies that were pretty good. There's some that are most excellent. And we thought that'd be a good subject for the draft.
So, I mean, the filmography is like if you took a fifth of his and just like maybe 5 movies at random, that would be a really good career for most people.
Yes.
But he's had so many fantastic movies, which I'm sure he was trying to be a little facetious when he said that and downplaying it. But
yeah,
his catalog is
that
really,
had to be
really
tongue
good.
in cheek, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that just
got
had
to
be.
Yeah.
What order are we going in here?
I don't know. Are we doing 3 movies each?
I think we should do
Let's
4.
let's try to shoot for 4, and if we have time, we'll go for another one.
All right, let's go. Who wants to go first? I'll go first.
All right, you want to go first,
I
Kevin?
do, because there's one movie I want.
No. Fine.
Well, that's not how this works.
That's not how this works.
That's why I stated that. So give me what I want.
All right. Well, hey,
seems-
let's let Kevin have his way because
Yeah.
that never happens.
I know.
Hey, so Captain, what about you? I mean, you don't gripe at all? I don't gripe to you, Ryven. I'm a captain. It's a chain of command. Gripes go up, not down, always up. You gripe to me, I gripe to my superior officer, so on, so on, so on. I don't gripe to you. I don't gripe in front of you. You should know that as a Ranger.
Saving Private Ryan. Number 1 draft pick.
That's a great one.
Not only do I think that's his best movie, that's probably one of my top 5 or 6 all time. I love that movie.
It's and I remember I saw it in the theater with a lot of people, like the way most people saw it for the first time, and that first 17 minutes they talk about.
Yeah.
People crying. And you very rarely see people crying at the beginning of a movie.
That's also one that some veterans had to leave.
PTSD was a big problem with that.
Because it
was
done.
so real. Yeah.
So Kevin picks number 1 overall, Saving Private Ryan. Amy, your number 2 pick?
Forrest Gump.
Why are you running?
Are you doing this for world peace? Are you doing this?
Oh, what happened there?
Are you doing this for world peace?
Are you doing this for the homeless?
Are you running for women's rights?
Or for the environment?
Or for animals?
They just couldn't believe that somebody would do all that running for no particular reason.
Why are you doing this?
I just felt like running.
I just felt like running.
That's
So-
Amy.
That is so
Is this
Amy.
why this is your pick?
Well, it's one reason because it is not my favorite Tom Hanks movie, but it's a classic.
It just
And do you
felt
know
like
how
running.
many times people have yelled at me while I'm running something from Forrest Gump?
Run, Forrest!
Yeah. So finally, a couple times I've yelled back, "Way to be original!"
Nice.
Because I get so tired of it.
I think, you know what though?
Yeah.
I can't wait to drive past you running one day, and I'm gonna do it. I'll be like, bet she's never heard this before.
Seriously, be original. Like the only thing worse than a heckler is an unoriginal heckler. Go ahead, Roger.
All right. Number 3 overall pick. Number 1, my team.
Yeah.
I think this is the Tom Hanks movie that I have seen the most.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we have a problem. We have a main bus B undervolt.
This, I'm telling you, that
great movie.
God, they did it so well.
Yeah.
And I love how they filmed it too. That that I don't know what they call the aircraft. They call it something like the vomit, the vomit comet or
Yeah,
something.
Vomit Comet.
And they will go up however many 30,000 feet, and then they will nosedive for like 30 seconds. So everybody is floating inside the aircraft. That's how they filmed like the space scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you imagine filming almost an entire movie that way? Just in an airplane all day, going up and down, up and
Let's
nosediving.
go.
Oh, that would be that'd be
and-
fine for
and-
a few minutes,
and
but
getting paid to do that? Come on, man.
unbelievable. All right, Kevin,
All
your
right, so
number 2 pick.
Since I forced my way into the number 1 pick, you guys want to do snake draft today?
You know what? We can do a snake draft.
All right.
Is
You
that
know what that
okay
means,
with
Amy?
you?
Since you're going to benefit from it, Ranj, sure.
Well, you
Yeah, you'll get no benefit
Well, yeah, so
whatsoever.
you're getting the
this
same
will
thing
change.
either way. Yeah.
This will change nothing
This is
for
me
you.
being nice to Ranji because I was a bully with the first pick.
You
really
were a bully.
You bullied both of us, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I did. Not
All right.
ashamed of it.
I love this movie.
Mhm.
Actually, I said Apollo 13 I've seen the most. I bet it's this one.
You have been my best friend. I can prove it to you. Oh, the space goes down, down, baby, down, down the roller coaster, sweet, sweet baby, sweet, sweet, don't let me go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, rock, shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, rock. I met a girlfriend at Trisket. She said,
Now this
a biscuit.
is big. I love Big.
Ooh, Shalina, what the nasty?
Don't you love the movie Big? Don't tell me you don't love Big.
It's good until you realize it's creepy.
It's not creepy. It's just
totally creepy.
She's in love with the kid.
Totally creepy.
I think it's okay.
Well, most of it's not because you can
Right.
see it's an honest mistake, but the end is creepy.
The end is super.
Where he turns back into a kid and she's like, oh. It's a good movie, though. When I saw it the first time, I didn't think of any of that, and I enjoyed the movie. Like when you saw it back in the day, I don't know why those things didn't register back then.
The thing that registered was the piano. We all wanted
yes,
to do the
exactly.
piano.
Although she probably at the very end where he's walking away from her, like she drops him off at home and he's walking away and then he turns little, she probably was like, oh God, what did I do?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
Ew.
Well, it's not her. She doesn't know.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
And
but
hey,
she kinda
he
had
got-
to be. Well, yeah.
He got to have a learning experience early.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna
What?
move
Amy,
on
your pick is up.
to my pick, which is a classic.
Are you crying? No. Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
What a great movie. Amy, you've picked a league of their own.
There's no crying in baseball.
Yeah, I really did like that movie. And most times, I don't like baseball movies. A lot of them are like, okay, cheesy, cliche. I loved that one. I thought that one was really well done.
Yep.
That's
Your
it.
turn.
Nothing else to say about
Nope, nothing
League of
else.
Their Own?
No,
All right.
I
wanna get to
love.
four picks. I really
Let's
want
go.
to get
It's
to
a great
four.
cast too.
It is.
Across the board,
Great.
absolutely.
Great. I love John Lovitz in it.
Yo, he's great in everything.
He's a great character, and Amy's told the story about
yeah
Him being on the subway and her friend.
Am I?
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
what a great
long
story.
This guy's on the subway. He sees this guy that looks like John Lovitz, and he thinks it's John Lovitz. And he's sitting across from him, and finally he goes, "Hey, are you John Lovitz?" And the guy didn't respond, so he waits a minute. And he goes, "Maybe you didn't hear me. I'll say it again. Excuse me, are you John Lovitz?" The guy totally ignores him, doesn't respond. Finally, the subway comes to a stop, and the guy who didn't respond gets up and looked up at his face and goes, "Well, am I?"
And then leaves, right?
I would so want to see
God,
that.
that's so awesome.
When you told that story the first time, I'm like, I want that to be my story.
Well.
I want to have witnessed that. That's so great. All right, my next
Kevin,
pick.
your call. Number 2 pick for you.
Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now. Captain Phillips. What a cool movie that was.
Stressful
great movie.
Oh, it was totally stressful, but I thought real story. Tom Hanks is, I think, brilliant in it. So that's my number 2 pick. Ooh, I get the number 3 pick now.
You do.
All right, let's go with the other one where I thought he was, again, a retelling of a real deal.
This is the captain. Brace for impact. We're going to end up in the Hudson.
Too low. Terrain. I'm sorry, say again, Cactus? Too low. Terrain.
Sully. Weird that both of those clips had the captain in there, where that was kind of the main part of it, but Sully is my third round pick.
This is the third clip where he's talking about being a captain.
What's the other one? So
The
it was
first one.
obviously Captain Phillips.
Apollo
and then-
13.
Did he say that?
No, what was the one? They said something about being a captain. It was your first pick.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think you're right. Let's check.
Oh, my God.
It's the captain. What about you? I mean, you don't.
Yeah,
my
he
God.
is a captain.
All three of my picks.
He's a
Bribes go up, not down.
He's a captain in everything.
He should be Captain America.
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine Tom Hanks as Captain America?
Oh, be great.
Amy, it is
Oh.
your pick now.
Actually, he
Right.
wasn't the captain anymore in Castaway. I'm sorry, but Captain Phillips.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is third in the draft, but first in my heart.
Don't cry, shop girl. Don't cry.
I wanted it to be you. I wanted it to be you so bad.
Oh, it's so good.
That sounds whatever
You've
that
got
is.
Mail. Did you know
Oh,
this?
it's You've Got
I was
Mail.
like, I don't even know this.
All of Kevin's have him as a captain, and all of mine is he's telling girls not to cry. He's saying don't cry. Like all of mine are like crying.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Except for Jenny. Jenny is always making
Jenny.
Jenny, by the way.
Ugh.
Jenny.
Is it bad that every person I know that I
Hates
know, that
her?
I know named Jenny? No, I always do
Oh.
that. Like, hey, Jenny.
Nah, well, maybe a little bit. It might be a little bit.
Jenny.
Look,
Why are you crying?
I'm going to say something about Jenny. I know that she went through a lot as a kid,
Yeah.
but Jenny sucks. She sucks as a person. All Forrest wanted to do was be the best boyfriend ever to her and take care of her, and she just crapped out on him all the time. Not a fan of Jenny.
Jenny.
No. Jenny can go straight to you know where.
Poor kids
all
are
right.
abused their whole life, and now you're judging.
I think this is a great film. I've seen this one a lot, and I think it's very difficult to carry a film by yourself when there's like nobody in it but inanimate objects.
I'm sorry, Wilson. Wilson, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wilson. Wilson.
I'm going to tell you, let me tell you something else. That one gets me. That moment. If you think about how good of an actor you've got to be.
To show emotion for volleyball?
Yes. The volleyball's floating away from him.
You're right.
And I'm like legitimately sad watching that scene. Just a stupid volleyball. And I'm a little choked up, and it's one of those where you're looking around the room hoping no one's seeing you. I'm like, I hope nobody sees me right
You're
now.
like faking a yawn.
Yeah.
I gotta rub my eyes. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I know my people at Ophthalmology
You got salty
Associates tell me
eyes.
that I got salty tears, and that's all that's going on. That's why I'm rubbing my eyes.
I got
It's not
salty
because I'm
tears.
sad about the volleyball, but he leads you to that point through the entire film where he's so close to this stupid volleyball that when he loses the ball in the ocean, it's very, very sad. It's heartbreaking.
He did do a great job in that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all the time we have.
I think, yeah, we've kind of run out of time.
I
So
will say
so
this.
here,
I think we should do one more.
What I think is interesting
You
is
want to do
that-
one more?
I mean, you can do it fast if because I don't have audio for the one that would be my next, but I'm not up. So,
I don't have audio from.
but I'll tell you,
Wow.
go ahead, see if anybody does the ones that are rated the most popular Tom Hanks movies on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh wait, what? Okay, so say my fourth one.
Well, no, it would be Ranj and then you and then
Oh
me.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Ranj.
with me. I would probably pick Catch Me If You Can.
Okay. I'm picking Toy Story.
There you go.
That's
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's it.
On Rotten Tomatoes, the most popular Tom Hanks movies are Toy Story 2, Toy Story, Toy Story 3, in that order.
Do you want to
Toy
add
Story
one more?
4 is next.
What's your
Kevin,
fourth
you gotta
one?
add one
My
more.
fourth one is Bridge of Spies. I love that movie.
Okay.
It's really
All
good.
right.
All right, so
Haven't seen
we-
it, you should see it.
So we'll come back and we'll talk about the teams that we have.
Yep.
I'll recap the teams.
It's all going to be tweeted so you can vote the whole
Yes.
deal. And then
At the show KMOX. Go follow us on Twitter.
Absolutely. And then 12:30, we've got our Redbird Report. It's going to be a lot about Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols today. Shocking. I know, but that'll be coming up after the news.
The impacts of this storm are historic.
Text Red Cross to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief, which helps people affected by disasters such as Hurricane Ian. Message and data rates may apply. Or go to KMOX.com for additional ways you can help.
Why should I buy from you? Always ask. Hi, I'm Chuck Easter with Easter Fence Deck and Renovations. When working with Easter, you know it's not just about making a buck. Our commitment is to do what's right. We are a third-generation family business. A lot of pride goes into every fence, deck, and sunroom. Our name is on it, and we guarantee it. Even if it was the first job Dad did in 1957, if we didn't do it right or didn't do what we said, we'll fix it for free. Call 314-892-8500 or easterfence.com.
Hi, I'm Mandy Moore. We can do great things when we stand together. Stand Up to Cancer is closer than ever before to achieving its mission to make every cancer patient into a long-term survivor. So get on board and stand up to cancer with us. To learn more about how you can support this groundbreaking effort and get Advantage Miles, go to standuptocancer.org/American Airlines.
Hi, it's Debbie Monterey, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Get ready, because here they come.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Beatlemania all over again with the Fab Four, the ultimate tribute to the Beatles. Entertainment Tonight says seeing the Fab Four is just like seeing the Beatles.
Hey Jude.
The Fab Four takes you through the 60s with the music that changed our lives.
Yesterday.
It's a show you won't want to miss.
Saturday, October 1st at the Family Arena. Tickets now on sale at the Carroll House box office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster.
It's the Sail On Tour 2022, starring Orleans, Firefall,
You are the woman that I've always dreamed of.
Peter Beckett, the voice of Player, John Ford Kohler, Walter Egan, and the Babies with Sail On Tour 2022. Saturday, October 15th at the Family Arena. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.
Hi, guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
Hello, my name is Chad with ClaimingGroup.com. I have another happy client of ours that just sold their house as is.
Hi, I'm Chris. I called the real estate agent and they gave me a list of 75 things to prepare my house for sale. I called the Claimant Group and spoke to Chad and his team, and they bought my house as is. I didn't have to do anything at all.
If you want a simple solution to your real estate needs as well, reach out today. 314-946-9999. 946-9999. ClaimingGroup.com.
All the news and all that matters to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
All right, we got the Redbird Report coming up at 12:30. Obviously, a big weekend at the ballpark. The final 3 home games of the 2022 season, the final 3 regular season home games for Albert and Yachty, maybe for Waino. And, of course, Waino getting the start on Sunday. This is, kind of poetic the way this is. And you guys think Albert will be in the lineup on Sunday? You think he's going to be in there?
I would hope so.
I mean, gotta be.
Yeah. I'm just teasing. We'll break down that, but we'll talk about those 2 guys in particular, and obviously the weekend. And I think we need to include Waino in it just in case. Just in case, we'll make him a part of that conversation. But that'll be coming up next. Ron, we're getting ready to tweet out the poll for our teams.
That's
Love
right.
this draft so much.
Here is the Tom Hanks movie draft. Here are the teams.
Okay.
Kevin selected saving. He got to go first. He
I
selected.
bullied my way.
No, he didn't get
He
to go
he
first.
bullied his way
That's
into
right.
picking
Pushed my
first
way to
overall.
the front of the line.
It was very Jerry Jones of you. Saving Private Ryan, Captain Phillips, Sully. Kevin has a thing with captains.
The crazy
And
thing is, didn't
Bridge
even
of-
realize it until played the last clip. Like, wait, what?
And Bridge of Spies.
Is he a captain in that?
Bridge of Spies? No, I think he's a spy.
Could you get to be a captain spy?
Let me look.
There's
I'm
gotta
like,
be
I
a
don't
spy
know.
Now you can look it up.
Yeah.
Amy's team, Forrest Gump, A League of Their Own, You've Got Mail, and Toy Story.
And 2 of my clips were just Tom Hanks telling someone not to cry.
That's right.
There was crying in mine. His was all captain centered. Mine was crying centered.
Mine's all over the place.
Yeah.
My team, I picked Apollo 13,
Great.
Big, Castaway.
Great, but creepy.
It's not creepy. She just probably had regret at the end because she didn't know she was having a thing with an underage person. She didn't know he was an adult when she met him. Apollo 13, Big, Castaway, and Catch Me If You Can.
Unbelievable. And we didn't even mention some
Oh
great
my God.
Tom Hanks movies.
I meant to pick Philadelphia or Green Mile.
Yep.
They were going to
Yep.
be in my draft, and I totally blanked on them. I forgot.
Me, Sleepless in Seattle.
Road to Perdition for me.
Road to Perdition is great.
Yep.
I actually really like
Can you?
what?
Sorry.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Can
I
you
like
play
it.
the clip from Sleepless in Seattle? Because I want you to.
Although I cried at the end of the Dirty Dozen. Who didn't? Because Jim Brown was throwing these hand grenades down these air shafts, and Richard Jekyll and Lee Marvin were sitting on top of this armored personnel carrier. They're dressed up like Nazis. And Trini Lopez. He busted his neck when they were parachuting down behind the Nazi lines. Stop it. Richard Jekyll, at the beginning, he had on his shiny helmet because he was EMP. Please, no more. Oh, God, I love that movie.
Crying again.
Oh, yeah. You were going to pick a crying scene.
He is not a captain in Bridge of Spies. He's a negotiator.
The only thing I can think about when I watch that movie is the friend is in Titanic. Like the guy who's playing the friend is in the movie Titanic, and I think he's the dude who built the ship, right? He's the one who built Titanic, and all the people are all like, this thing can't sink. Like it just hit the iceberg, right? And they're on the boat talking about it. And there's that one arrogant dude who says, this ship can't sink. It's unsinkable. And he goes, it's made of iron, sir. I assure you she can. And then the ship sinks and everybody dies.
Wow.
Confession.
What?
Never
seen Sleepless in Seattle.
Nope.
I've seen it and I like it.
You like it?
I do like it.
I do not like romantic comedies.
Of course not, because there's not enough head pounding.
There's not enough happening. Yeah, pretty much.
I am just shocked. I think I've learned a lot about myself that 3 of the 4
Everything is
clips.
You like to
they
cry.
were
It's
Oh,
like,
I cry all the
it's
time. I was crying, even joke crying as it was in Sleepless in Seattle. I can't believe it. My family can. If they're listening, my mom's thinking right now, I believe it.
I'm around you 4 hours a day, and there's just nothing but crying. I've seen you cry more. You know what people say as an insult? Cry more. Like, that's totally you.
Cry more.
Cry more. Like, Amy's like, okay, I will.
Amy's like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I cried at there's this arthritis commercial where this old lady is an artist and they show her painting as a young woman, and then she paints in this little beach shack and every year, and then she gets arthritis and they close up the beach shack, and then it's a commercial for the arthritis medication. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. I need movies with Jim Cantori energy.
Oh, yes!
Oh, yeah.
Yes! Yes! We got it, baby! We got it! We got it!
He's amazing.
I need that kind of energy in my shows and movies. Otherwise, I'm out.
Go vote for our poll at the show KMOX on Twitter. Follow us.
Redbird Report coming up after the news.
There aren't many things I'm good at, but I was born with a talent for start. It's like the difference between poking someone with your finger a little bit and punching them as hard as you can. And that is what it feels like in the world where everyone is just rearing back and throwing haymakers so that 18 people will like their tweet. And there's a possibility it goes viral because I was so mean or I was so this or so that. And personally, it just kind of like, ugh.
A little snark and a whole lot more. The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning. So it's back to school time. Seems like all the kids do during summer is drag dirt into the house. Most households have 40 pounds of dust and dirt and pet dander and dead skin cells that go straight into your carpeting every single year. Well, back to school time is carpet cleaning time. So if you would like to have the cleanest carpets in the neighborhood, fresh smelling, because they are fresh, they are clean, bacteria gone, then reach out to Zero Res for just $129. You can get 3 rooms of carpeting cleaned. We'll also do area rugs. We'll do upholstery like your couches and your chairs. We're also great at air duct cleaning, and you can take $75 off your air duct cleaning. That's 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com. Make sure you mention me to get the DGS deal. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
10-year-old George Haruza and his parents, with only what they could carry in a suitcase, made a daring escape from behind the Iron Curtain of communism, risking their lives to secure the freedom and promise of America. George Haruza learned English, studied hard, and worked harder. Overcoming every hurdle in his way, George Haruza is now a world-renowned surgeon, educator, and physician leader. George Haruza earned a reputation for getting difficult things done in his own life, medicine, and business. Now, George Haruza will bring that results-based record to the state Senate for greater transparency to improve our schools and healthcare, to find solutions to protect our families from rising crime, to bring back high-paying jobs, and to implement policies to reduce runaway gas and grocery prices. George Haruza for state Senate. A record of getting good things done.
Paid for by Haruza from Missouri.
67 degrees downtown at the Arch. Hurricane Ian is bearing down on the Carolinas after devastating parts of Florida. Leloni Stainsby, Assistant Administrator of Field Operations at FEMA, described FEMA's current activities in Florida and the Carolinas.
It's just a dynamic situation. We're really focused in on making sure that people are taking care of themselves, that they are staying safe, and that we are enabling all of the disaster operations on the ground while making sure that we support the people of South Carolina as well.
Ian destroyed homes and structures and triggered catastrophic flooding in Florida. The Kremlin and Russian state media are aggressively pushing a baseless conspiracy theory blaming the U.S. for damage to natural gas pipelines in the Baltic Sea. The accusation is now reverberating online in forums popular with some Americans. NATO leaders have said the damage to the Nord Stream pipelines appears to be sabotage. They have not identified a suspect. Keeping tabs on gas prices.
The White House plans to meet today with some of the largest gasoline producers in the U.S., including Exxon and Shell, on concerns about potential price spikes in the wake of Hurricanes Ian and Fiona. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The average in the St. Louis area, $3.35 a gallon, as cheap as $2.75 at some Costco's and Sam's Club in St. Peters and St. Charles. We've got debris 55 north past Merrimack Bottom, right lane. Stall 270 north before 6440, right shoulder. Dean Divorce forecast plenty of sun and pleasant today with a high of 73. Tonight clear, low 49. Tomorrow through Wednesday, sunny and warm with a high 75 to 80. It's a sunny sky, 67 Florissant, 70 St. Peter, 67 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Stress and anxiety reactions following disasters can be challenging. If you were impacted by the recent floods, show me hope because help is available. Find resources and local providers at moshowmehope.org. Brought to you by the Missouri Department of Mental Health.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Carol Daniel here. Leslie Gill, president of Rung for Women, addresses the gender wage gap in our latest episode of PNC C-Speak, the language of executives. She advises employers to stop asking applicants for their previous salary and post the range. PNC C-Speak provides digital storytelling from a C-level perspective on relevant, forward-thinking business approaches. Listen to our 14-minute podcast with Leslie Gill at KMOX.com/PNC C-Speak. PNC C-Speak, the language of executives.
Lombardo Homes welcomes you to Sutton Farms in Wentzville, a sprawling new custom home community grand opening on Saturday, October 8th. Sutton Farms offers a private, rural setting with the added bonus of nearby shopping and dining on Wentzville Parkway. Loved for its spacious home sites, Sutton Farms is also close to the Splash Station Aquatic Center and Wentzville Rec Center. Be one of the first 3 purchasers at Sutton Farms, and we'll provide a 2-year membership to one or the other. Join us on Saturday, October 8th, and start your home building journey. For more information, visit LombardoHomes.com.
Hey friends, it's Matt for Brew Pub Pizza. You know, these days are filled with uncertainty. The ups, the downs, the questions that don't seem to have answers. Well, one thing, however, that remains consistent is the deliciousness of a Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza. The award-winning mozzarella cheese, the thin, crispy crust, complemented by just the right amount of flavorful sauce and high-quality ingredients. Brew Pub Pizzas are the personification of pizza perfection. So stop by your local grocery store, hit up the frozen pizza section, and snag a Brew Pub Lots of Matza Pizza for dinner today.
Sunday night, it's Chiefs football as they take on the Buccaneers. Pregame at 6, kickoff 7:20. Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Sunday night. Touchdown, Kansas City! And you can hear the game on 97.1 FM Talk.
The pitch by Ueno. Albert is hit high and deep. A home run for Harrison Bader. Yadier Molina has homered. Double play. It's a big fly for Albert Pujols. A home run in the first inning for Goldie.
This is the Redbirds Report.
We're thankful that we were able to do that before this weekend, because I was nervous that it was going to be like, Yachty would have his game face on, and well, he still will. Forget this sentimental stuff. We got to win a game, but because the pressure's off, I think we'll all be able to soak it in a little bit more on Sunday.
Molina 1 for 3. Coming into this game, a .351 career hitter on the road during the postseason. He hits it in the air to left field. Back is Chavez. At the wall, this ball is gone. 2-run home run, Yadier Molina. And St. Louis takes a 3-1 ninth inning Game 7 lead.
Bickford from the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. A swing, and there it goes! Left field, way back. That's home run number 700. Pujols hits a 3-run homer, and he hit 699 and 700 at Dodger Stadium on September 23rd, 2022.
I think a couple of great highlights from the careers of Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols. Picking an Albert highlight is not easy because there are so many that are memorable ones like that. And it's an interesting contrast, by the way, between these two, because Albert, with 700 home runs and being the kind of player he was, highlights are what you get all the time, right? You're going to have big home runs. You've got the Lidge home run. You've got the 3 home run game in the World Series in 2011 in Texas. You've got number 700. That's what we just played there from the other night. And with Yachty, that to me, that's his most famous home run. Yachty's, he's had a lot of big hits and a lot of clutch moments. That's probably the biggest home run, the 2006 NLCS, to put them ahead there. But what's interesting to me is that these are two players that are both, I think, equally important to the story of the St. Louis Cardinals during their time wearing the uniform, but they're so different in how they impact the game. Albert is just, don't get me wrong. great all-around player, Gold Glover at a point in his career, great base runner, all of that. But it's the bat. It's highlight reel because offense is highlights. Home runs are highlights. Yadi's the guy that it's just every pitch of every game, his mind working in tandem with the pitcher, him picking guys off that have no business being picked off of first or third base. And that was the point of Derek Gould's story about Yadi yesterday. If you read it, all these comments from major league players, Christian Yelich, all the opposing players and managers too, just talking about him being the smartest guy in the game. And I thought Benji's comment was maybe the most informative on that. And Benji's comment was something like, he's thinking about the 6th inning while you're playing the 3rd inning. He knows all of this. He's got it all figured out as he's going because he's looking ahead as the game goes along. It's just interesting to me. These two legends, both are going to be Hall of Famers, but the way they do things is completely different.
Well, one of them has, and I think, and you were a catcher, so I'm sure you're going to agree with this. It's the toughest job there, just because of all that you're responsible for and how physically taxing it is throughout the course of a regular season, especially when it gets hot, when it gets to be July and August and still in September for a lot of places in the country. And you're doing it more than anybody else does it. I mean, just go back over the last several years, the amount of innings he's caught in the National League compared to everybody else. Like, just even as he's gotten older, we're not talking about 27-year-old Yadier Molina, talking about mid-30s Yadier Molina, catching inning after inning after inning and doing it with very little time off. That is so hard to do for 5 years, let alone 10 to 15. Like, it's nearly impossible. Most guys by this point of their lives would have been done with the game of baseball, but he's still out there. Even if offensively he's not productive or as productive as we've seen him before, he's still out there doing the other more important part of his job very, very well.
I want to talk about how smart Molina is when it comes to him understanding the game, seeing the game, anticipating the game. And maybe we could find some comparisons in the sense that in hockey, right? Everybody talks about Wayne Gretzky and how he could see the ice. You don't go to where the puck is, you go to where it's going to be. We get that analogy. There's also the chess analogy. I joke. That's why I'm better at checkers than chess. I'm not great at planning. I don't like thinking ahead. I like being in the moment. When you look at Yadi and the way that he understands the game and sees it and calls it and takes control, do you see it like you would describe a chess grandmaster playing the game, seeing all the moves, being more strategic than the opponent?
Yeah, it's a lot like that. I think another good comp is like a guy like Peyton Manning, the quarterback. He can see everything as it's happening. That was me. Don't worry, I hit the volume on my headphones too quickly. No, but he'd be like, you can look at what the other team shows you. And you know exactly what's happening next. And that's what leads to it. That's Yadi. And, to be the catching nerd for a second, you mentioned almost all of it, Raj. Like the physical grind is a big part of this. Like every day, all the time, squatting down and getting up. And the little things that people don't notice, like, the catcher trails the runner down to first base on ground balls on the infield. Unless there's a guy on second base or something, they're going to trail that play because they're the backup if there's a wild throw. So you throw all of that into the mix, in addition to the offensive side of the game and running the bases if you happen to get on. The mental side is the even tougher side, though. And you think about what you need to know, right? You need to know your guys. What are they comfortable with? What do they execute well in certain spots? What do they want? What's their go-to? And you need to know that for all 13 or 14 guys on the pitching staff. And you need to know that for the new guys that come up or the guys that you acquire in a trade. You need to know all of that. You need to know the other team, the tendencies of the hitters, how they've reacted to the guys that you have on the mound in the past. What have you done to get them out? Do you want to do the same thing? Do you need to change it up? Because maybe that hitter's smart and he's going to figure it out. And if you don't adjust, he's going to, and he's going to get you. And you have all of these sliding scales. And then on top of that, you're reading the moment, not just what normally works for Waino. What's working today? What's not working today? And you look at all these it is almost like he's the human algorithm back there, and he's taking all of these factors in there. And for the most part, you're getting that result that's almost hard to believe. And Derek, in his story yesterday, had it was just a sentence, and it's a stat, and it's one that is mind-blowing, even though it's not entirely due to Yadier Molina. but it shows you kind of his impact and also, by the way, how good the team has been. But this is the couple of sentences from Derek Gould that caught me yesterday was, since Molina's debut in 2004, the Cardinals have played more than 2,920 regular season games. They have been mathematically out of contention from the playoffs in 24. In almost 3,000 games in his career, they have only played 24 meaningless games. That's insane.
It is. It speaks.
It's just a little more than one game a year.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, he's part of that. It's a lot of what the organization's been successful at doing,
For sure.
and obviously playing in a division that hasn't been particularly great. I mean, the Cubs had some good years, but nobody else really. Milwaukee's been pretty good, but all these factors go into it, and what Molina's been able to do. I think part of what we talk about with him, it's not just the physically taxing parts of his job that he does exceptionally well. It's, I think a big part of it is how comfortable you make your pitching staff feel. And it is, I don't think you can understate or overstate. I don't think you can overstate what he does in that regard, where guys who are throwing, in particular the young pitchers, like you mentioned, Kevin, can just say, all right, whatever you tell me to do, that's what I'm going to do. Because there are pitchers who will shake off and say, nah, I'm not going to, I know what you want to do, but here's what I want to do, because the pitcher has the ultimate say. Even if the catcher throws down a 2, doesn't mean that's what's going to get thrown. It means that's what you're suggesting as the catcher. But you will see most guys just say, okay, whatever you're telling me to throw, that's what I'm going to throw, because I trust that you understand what the game plan is. You're catching what I'm throwing, so you know what's coming out of my hand well, like what pitch I need to go with or what pitch I need to abandon for the night. And I trust that you know what you're talking about. And that's especially valuable for a young pitcher. But even the veteran pitchers know to go with it most of the time. It's not 100% of the time, but it's a lot.
I love the
It's a lot.
I love the parts on that from Derek's story. And I'm not going to read you the whole story because you need to go read it because there's so much there. But I like how he describes how John Lackey and Mitchell Boggs used to shake Yachty off all the time. And finally, he would just say, you know what? He just wave his glove at him and go, throw what you want. I'm not even going to put down a sign. Just throw what you want. Which, by the way, do you know how hard that is?
Yeah, of course.
For a guy like Mitchell Boggs throwing 97 miles an hour with a slider and you don't know what's coming, and he made it look like it was no big deal. And eventually they stopped shaking him off. But my favorite one was when Edward Mujica was acquired. And this, again, is in Derek Gould's piece in the Post-Dispatch. He essentially was going around asking, what do I need to do? What kind of scouting reports should I be looking for? What do I need? And one of the coaches just told him, just follow Yachty.
Yep.
Just do what he says.
Yeah. and the comfort of that, just giving your coaching staff, that's one less thing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
It's one less thing for them to have to deal with. It's one less thing for a pitcher to have to worry about.
Yep.
I think that matters a lot. You can't quantify it, but I think it matters being a pitcher and just I know whatever I do, that guy's got it.
Yeah.
That guy I'm going to throw to, he's got it figured out.
And I think that's why in this segment, I wanted it to be about Yachty more than Albert, because what Albert does is very quantifiable.
Right.
What Albert's great at, we have great statistics for. We have great numbers for. You can picture the home runs. You can picture the number 700. I mean, it's not less than Yachty. That's not the point.
Right.
Albert is one of the 3 or 4 greatest hitters of all time when you look at where he ranks: home runs, hits, runs batted in. And if you're going to only look at clean players, he's definitely in that conversation in the top 5 or 6 all time. So it's not about saying that Yachty's achievements are greater, but they require more discussion because there are no really good ways to measure these things.
Right.
Yeah, and I would also say that the intangibles, like you said, those qualities that you can't necessarily quantify are so important to championship teams, as are the quantifiable qualities, which just goes to show how hard it is to have a championship team, because you have to have the stats. You have to have several guys having career years, but you also have to have the leadership, the direction, everything that can't be quantified also has to be in the mix.
And I do want to point out that Albert has a lot of those same things too.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to talking about his career, they're not as necessary because
you don't have to talk about it.
Because the numbers speak for themselves.
They're so good.
You don't
Right.
need to make a case for Albert because 700 makes the case, right? 3,000 hits makes the case. with Yadi, you do kind of have to make the case because offensively, he's essentially major league average for his career. If you look at his career numbers, he's about average for a major league hitter. But when you're that and also one of the greatest defenders of all time at the most difficult position on the field, that's a Hall of Famer.
Well, think about it this way. Which of the two players over the last decade, their Hall of Fame career has been in question? Their Hall of Fame status has been in question. There's only one of them.
Right.
I mean, there were a lot of people, maybe not here in St. Louis, but nationally, and you have to care about what they think nationally because national voters vote.
Yep.
They're the ones who get to decide, not just St. Louis writers, but around the country. And there was a lot of pushback against Yadier Molina's candidacy. Albert, there has never been that pushback. It's just, yeah, that dude's going to the Hall of Fame as soon as he's eligible. There's not a question about it. I do, however, believe in the last 5 years that, and there are still some people who don't believe Molina belongs in the Hall of Fame, but the amount of people who feel that way has shrunk. And especially the most influential people are no longer saying, we talked about Jeff Passan before, and I think if you go back 4 years on him, he would have said absolutely not, the numbers aren't there, but he's changed his opinion, and he matters.
Yeah.
His opinion matters on this because he is very well respected in the baseball community, and he gets the vote. I think he gets the vote, right? He must.
Yep. In I believe it was September of 2019, he and I had a debate on the radio about that.
Yeah.
He was arguing against Molina. I was arguing for it. It's great because he and I get along really well. So it was a very respectful
He's very
thing.
good.
And he has come around since then. Not because of the argument, but because of some of the milestones that Yadi's passed. And
the longevity matters.
And I also think he's talked to other people in the game. And when you talk to people on the field, they're going to tell you all these things about Yadi. I know we're running short. I just want to do this 20 seconds because we're talking rightfully about Albert and Yadi and their final home weekend in the regular season. Maybe that for Adam Wainwright too, but also that for Rick Hummel. Saw that this morning in the Post-Dispatch.
Yeah.
That Rick is going to step away from writing about the Cardinals full time at the end of the year. The commission, how about this? 50 years writing about the Cardinals. 1973 is when he first started covering the Cardinals. So congrats to the commish. Very well earned. Obviously, he's already a Hall of Famer, but very much deserved. And one of my favorite guys. I love Rick. He's the best.
My entire life, Rick Hummel is associated with Cardinals coverage.
Yep. And I don't know many people that know more about college basketball either than the commish, Rick Hummel. All right, stick around. We got a few more things to take care of. And by the way, Fun Police Friday coming your way in a little bit. Mike Claiborne coming up after 1 o'clock.
Well, if you're a business owner and you have 5 or more employees and you managed to survive the past couple of years with COVID, inflation, and all of that, you're probably thinking, I could use a little bit of a break. Well, pay attention to this website, getrefunds.com. You could be eligible if you have 5 or more employees and you managed to survive the COVID years. You could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com. The team of tax attorneys they've put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program, and they've already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. They do all the work. There's no charge up front. They simply share a percentage of the cash that they get for you. Now, to find out if your business qualifies, just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. Businesses of all types can qualify, including businesses that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that saw increases in sales. Go to getrefunds.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Well, you never know when you're going to need a plumber, but when you do, you will have one in your contacts. Open up your contact page on your phone. I'm going to give you the information to contact Beast Plumbing whenever there is a stopped-up toilet or sewer repairs or sewer and drain cleaning services you need or faucet repair. Just got word from Beast Plumbing that they have a special they don't want you to miss out on. $100 off in the month of September for a reverse osmosis system for your home or business, actually. Reverse osmosis systems produce cleaner water. It saves you money and are better for the environment. $100 off is a sweet deal at Beast Plumbing. But if you ever have a need for a plumber, Whether it's a repair or you don't like the water that's coming out of the faucet, contact Beast Plumbing. They can take care of it. Beast Plumbing is also hiring customer experience coordinators, journeyman plumbers, drain technicians, and so much more. Their phone number is 314-698-1154. You can call them or find them online at beastplumbing.com. Tell them Bo sent you to Beast Plumbing. Did you put that in your contacts?
What started as a small, dedicated group helping a handful of nonprofits has blossomed into a movement that addresses the needs of our entire region. 100 years later, this movement is woven into the fabric of this community, a movement rooted in collectively helping each other, transforming lives, and making the St. Louis region a better place. That is the United Way. Learn more. helpingpeople.org.
Hey, it's Trish Gazelle for Ophthalmology Associates, the office of Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Brusati, and Dr. Andy Royer. I went there over 20 years ago for my LASIK procedure. Couldn't be happier 20 years later. They are the doctors, and that's their nickname because they have treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice. And Dr. Birdie and Dr. Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Dry eye, allergy eyes, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgery. Call for an appointment today. Drs. Greg Birdie, Dr. Ranjan Malhotra, Dr. Robert Brusati, and Dr. Andy Royer, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com. They're located off Manchester Road, 12990 Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270 on eastbound Manchester Road. Again, for more information, call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000 or go to youridoc.com.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Odyssey celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month and the trailblazers who made their mark worldwide. Mexican-born actress and producer Salma Hayek is best known for her role in the movie Frida Kahlo, as well as Quentin Tarantino's From Dusk Until Dawn. Salma is a spokesperson for both Revlon and Avon Cosmetics, and she works with P&G and UNICEF to raise funds for vaccines against maternal and neonatal tetanus. Odyssey salutes Salma Hayek on National Hispanic Heritage Month. More on the Odyssey app, and celebrate the sounds and stories of Hispanic heritage at odyssey.com/HHM.
Get started with the Vision Walk today and form your Vision Walk team to raise money for a cure. For more information, go to visionwalk.org or call 314-852-7223.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. They're back.
Three best friends. The three amigos.
Yeah. Kevin, Chris, and Amy. The show.
All right, Mike Claiborne's going to join us coming up after the top of the hour. Oh, there's another thing we'll bring this up with Claves, obviously, but this tonight is the last Live at Lowe's on the Cardinals postgame show. Ozzy's going to be there. So Ozzy's a part of it. And I'm not going to say the name of the person because it's not a sure thing, but there is another gigantic sports star, internationally known sports star that might be there tonight.
Tom Brady.
I'm not going any further than what I just said.
LeBron.
Not going any further
Tiger.
than what I just said.
Roger Federer.
Damn it, you got it.
Serena. Is Serena going to be there?
It's not Serena.
Hope Solo.
Not going to go any further, but Ozzy will be there for the post game.
It's not Hope Solo?
I'm not saying one way or the other.
Not unless you want a beaten.
That's all I got to say about that.
Allegedly.
Wow.
Allegedly.
Wow.
What?
That was harsh.
You think?
Not actually. I'm not disputing the.
You think I feel bad?
No, you shouldn't.
Pete Weber.
So
could be Pete Weber, the bowler.
That's at the Bullock, which is at the Lowe's Hotel right across the street.
You are. I am.
That guy.
The greatest quote ever.
Well,
one of them.
Sorry.
From bowling.
It's not as good as.
I mean that's straight out of like what was the Bill Murray bowling movie?
Kingpin.
Straight out of Kingpin.
Who do you
It's
think
like
you
clown
are?
stuff.
I am.
Great moment.
I'm not going to make fun. I want to.
It's not as great as
I'm not
Thunder
making
Snow.
fun. It's great.
No, I want to, but I'm not going to. You're bowling, dude.
Well, you just did. You
But he-
just made
I
fun.
like bowling, but don't. I mean,
Well, there must have
Who
been a
was it?
lead up to it, right? Like there was
Yeah.
something that happened
I
beforehand.
think some kids were heckling him.
oh,
maybe.
were they?
Yeah, and then he gave
Well, he
it the.
showed them.
Listen to that! Listen to that! Oh, baby!
That's what he did. Bold a strike. That's what I
Oh, again! That's a twofer! That's a twofer, baby!
do. That's what I hit 2 pins in a row. That's what I do.
Me too. All right, Claves will join us after the news.
Diamonds Direct's unbelievable zero-interest finance offer is coming to a close, but you have until this Sunday to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing on any purchase. Now more than ever, it's the smartest way to buy. You can get that engagement ring or fabulous piece of designer jewelry and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. This amazing offer is good through this weekend only. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get all the details, including special Sunday hours, at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
What do you have for us today, Charlotte?
Charlotte is the little sister of the Tooth Fairy. Charlotte is the Junk Fairy.
If you have stuff in your shed that you haven't used in the past 12 months,
Yes.
you're not storing stuff, you've got junk.
Turn your storage shed into a shed that you can use again.
Give yourself some space to maneuver.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Park Provence, an assisted living and skilled nursing memory care community, understands the challenges when caring for a loved one with dementia or other forms of memory loss. You're not alone. Park Provence is a trusted expert in memory care and recently recognized as a best memory care community by U.S. News and World Reports. Call 314-452-5200 or to learn more, parkprovence.com. That's P-A-R-C Provence.com.
Are you tired of paying fees and commissions year after year, even when you lose your money? How would you like to decrease fees and limit your risk? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary Retirement and Income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-328-8000.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
1 o'clock, it's a sunny sky, up to 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour is a developing story. St. Louis firefighters and hazmat crews are on the scene of a chemical spill at Millipore Sigma, south of downtown, in the 3300 block of South 2nd Street. The department says a 55-gallon drum of acetone has ruptured. Acetone is a colorless but pungent liquid that is highly flammable. It's a main ingredient in products like paint thinner and nail polish remover. Again, hazmat crews on the scene at Millipore Sigma, 3300 block of South 2nd Street. A drum of acetone has ruptured.
Whatever it takes, we're going to be there as one nation and one America. We're not going to walk away.
The damage in Florida after Hurricane Ian is widespread, as many of the beach communities along the state's Gulf Coast are disaster zones. President Biden fears this could be Florida's deadliest storm ever.
And we're working very closely with the governor and the entire Florida delegation, Democrat and Republican, making sure that we can do everything we can, including now search and rescue, recovery, and rebuilding efforts.
I'm Jim Crisul in Greensboro, North Carolina. Better safe than sorry. That's the view of Dennis Reinert. When it comes to Ian's wind and rain, he's prepared his home, which is along a river outside Columbia, South Carolina.
You don't wait till it happens to do something about it. You always got to be ready for it.
Ian will dump heavy rain across the Carolinas and southern Virginia into Sunday. There will also be the threat of damaging wind and tornadoes. Jim Crisul, CBS News, Greensboro, North Carolina.
The U.S. announced more sanctions against Russia today after Vladimir Putin formally annexed 4 regions of Ukraine. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick has the latest.
No one is fooled by what Moscow has done.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
The entire process around these sham referenda was a complete farce.
The new U.S. sanctions target Russians and those who assist them in their war. But as to Ukraine's request for accelerated NATO membership, Blinken and Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg would only say the door is open. But there are concerns about the West being drawn into the war.
NATO is not party to the conflict. We support Ukraine, but that doesn't make us party to the conflict.
Every NATO member would have to approve Ukraine's request.
KMOX Sports. Now that Albert Pujols has 700 career home runs, there's a debate brewing.
Who's greater, the machine or the man? Longtime Cardinals fan Barney Bradshaw Sr. and daughter Annette.
Albert Pujols.
But you
Why
met
is that?
the man.
Well, of course I do.
Then you go to his daughter's wedding?
Yeah, but
You went to his daughter's wedding and met him. Yeah.
and you still picked Albert? Why do you like Albert? Well, he hits more home runs.
Looking at the numbers for 5 and 6, they both notched 22 seasons. Both are finishing up age 42. Musial would have played one more season if not for military service. Stan had 2 batting titles while Pujols had just 1. Both won 3 MVPs. Musial saw 3 World Series wins. Pujols just has 2 so far. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, an EV update.
As the third quarter draws to a close, Tesla is seen poised to announce record quarterly deliveries. The figure is due over the weekend. Deliveries fell in the second quarter as Tesla dealt with what CEO Elon Musk called supply chain hell. Larry Kofsky, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's down 250 points to 28,974.
Our top 10 list is getting crowded. Another fantastic afternoon. Sunny and nice 72. Tonight, clear skies, 60s for evening plans, including all the Friday night football games, 45 for the low. Saturday, sunny, 75. Saturday night, clear and 48. Sunday, sunny, 75 again. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sunny and 68 in Florissant, 70 in St. Peters, and 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
105 on the show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, A.B. Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler hanging out with you. And we're joined by our buddy Mike Claiborne, who has a pretty busy weekend planned this weekend. Claibs, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. And all 3 of you all are in the same room together.
So you noticed.
You noticed that, huh?
That is a monumental task on your part.
Well, we tried.
Yeah. You noticed that Amy keeps taking time off work?
Maybe she's not happy with the people she's around.
Well,
I mean, that's probably true.
She picked it.
He's very perceptive.
Yeah, that may be on the internet. You better pay attention.
Claibs, before we get to the baseball stuff, best Tom Hanks movie is what?
Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
Okay, that's what Kevin picked.
Yep.
He got to go first in our draft.
Bullied my way into the first pick,
You know,
Claibs, so I could pick
gosh,
that.
there's so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one where he was the captain of the Merchant Marine?
Captain Phillips?
No. It was on Apple.
The Greyhound.
Yeah.
Greyhound. Yeah.
Yeah,
he
that's
was
really
in
good.
that. But I don't know if Tom Hanks has ever had an off movie.
So the reason
Road to Perdition's another good one I like.
Yeah, Kevin picked that one too.
Yeah.
We talked about what he said in a People magazine interview, and I think he was probably just making a joke of it. And he's got a book coming out next year about making films, and he said nobody knows how to make a movie. He said, I've done a bunch of them. 4 of them are pretty good. And I thought, like, 4 of them? Like, I mean, if any other actor had like a tenth of his filmography, that's a great career.
Well, you know what? James Garner, who I think is one of the greatest actors, movie and TV, he wrote a book a few years ago and kind of said the same thing, because most of the movies he made, he didn't like. And there's only a handful that he actually raised his hand and said, I'm happy to be part of it. Errol Flynn was another guy.
Yeah.
And I'm really dating myself.
Who?
His book, My
Errol
Wicked
Flynn.
Ways.
He was
Was he a soccer player?
I think wasn't he Robin Hood or
Yes,
something?
he was
Yeah.
Robin
Yeah.
with
He was
Olivia
Robin
de
Hood.
Havilland.
There you go. Hey,
Was he in the talkies,
Welcome
or was he a
back,
silent
Amy.
movie guy?
Welcome back.
Thank you, Claves. I appreciate
You know,
it.
Errol Flynn was an interesting guy. His name of his book was My Wicked Ways. And there was one item in there. He said, if anybody who dies with more than $10,000 and didn't spend it is a damn fool. Now you have to think about when he wrote this book. So basically, when you add up inflation and everything else, you know, he basically said, you better live it while you can. And he's an interesting guy, but he said the same thing about a lot of movies that he was involved in that he didn't like, and he had a handful. Objective Burma was one of his favorites, but I think the great actors, they go along for the ride. George Clooney is a guy like that.
Oh, I love Clooney.
You know, he did all the other ocean films in order to make when he was the fixer, Michael, what was the name of it?
Clayton.
Michael Clayton.
Yep.
That he won for. So, you know, I think some of the great ones, they realize, okay, I have to do this in order to get that.
Is there an actor that stands out to you, like a Tom Hanks, who can absolutely transform in their role so that you forget it's Tom Hanks and that actor becomes the character?
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
You think about the different roles that he's played. You don't really pay attention to Denzel. You really get absorbed by the character that he plays, because he's played good guys, he's played bad guys, and you always think of the character more than you think about the guy who made the movie.
I was going to say The Rock.
Here we go.
My God, with this
Here we
Miami
go.
stuff.
Here we go. It's
He's just
starting
the
to go
modern
downhill,
Schwarzenegger,
folks.
the same guy in every movie.
The answer is Daniel Day-Lewis. That's the answer.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman's pretty good.
Yeah,
But I mean,
he's a good one.
Daniel Day, is Abraham Lincoln, Daniel Plainview, those two characters are completely different. Completely different.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
What's the character's name in where he's like, I drink your milkshake?
That's Daniel Plainview.
Oh, is that Daniel Plainview?
Yeah, from
Oh,
There
man.
Will Be Blood.
That's a great movie.
God, that
what
movie's
a
good.
jerk. What a horrible person.
Right?
Amy's like, I never saw
But that's
that.
what you love about those movies, though, those actors, where they can be, you can really despise them, but you admire how much they make you despise them.
Yeah.
I find that I don't like most people.
Most
Great
people
line.
don't like you.
Yeah.
All right, so are we going to do our favorite quotes from movies?
Yes.
Well,
I mean, if you got one, you can.
So many.
I mean, there's too many for me. We'd have to do another show. Why
Yeah.
don't we just do a show of great quotes?
We can do that podcast.
Take an hour of that and just
Yeah.
talk about quotes and what they meant to you. I was like,
Yeah.
one of my favorite movies is A Bronx Tale, and it's
a good movie.
I guess here's a better question. What's the one movie that you've seen 100 times, no matter what you do or what you're doing, it's on and you stop what you're doing as if you've never seen it before?
Well, it used to be called Getting Shawshanked.
Yeah, right.
Because if Shawshank Redemption was on, no matter what, you stop and finish it.
I can tell you mine is Hunt for the Red October. I love that movie.
Well, that's been on a
And
lot
I've
lately.
seen it so many times, and yet when it's on, I have to watch it. Or A Few Good Men. That's also one of those movies that's on all the time.
Yeah.
And I just get sucked in.
Crimson Tide is if you want to look at war flicks, modern war flicks, Crimson Tide, Gene Hackman, Denzel Washington, James Gandolfini, all in that film. That's another one that has classic lines as well.
Mine is The Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Every time it's on, I'm in.
Okay.
It's those hobbits, man.
Mayday, we're going down.
Listen,
I know, man.
Listen, that is one of the greatest movies of all time. It has the awards to back it up.
What's yours,
Well,
Claves? Oh, sorry.
And I mean, the good thing about that movie is once it starts, you have a really good chance of running into it because it's 9 hours long.
It's exactly
So
right.
Yeah.
if it starts at
Yeah,
noon and you turn on the TV at 6, it's still going to
there.
be on.
It's there.
Yeah, I mean, you've eaten twice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gone to the restroom multiple times.
Oh,
You
it's
know,
a
yeah,
it's a
I-
Went
double
shopping.
meal movie for sure.
Yeah.
I'll say
Went
this
on
though:
Amazon and
who
bought a
actually
bunch of
watches
stuff.
TV though to just sit there and then catch something?
I
Like
love it.
I do not sit and just watch
It's-
TV. I'm like picking the things that I want. I don't just like, well, let's flip around and see what's on.
That's one of my greatest.
I used to
dad
do that.
moves.
Yeah.
I can
don't
do that.
I don't flip around, but I go to the guide.
Do you?
Yeah, live TV and
Yeah,
see
me
what's
too.
on. For whatever reason,
Yeah.
it's more to me.
Yes.
It's more satisfying for a movie that I kind of want to watch. It's more
Yes.
satisfying for it to be on
Yes,
already
thank you.
than for me to
It's just
start
weird.
it. Yeah, I don't know.
Good point.
I don't know why. It
Yeah,
just
I'm
is.
that same person.
We
guys are
had
weird.
this conversation last weekend because Hunt for the Red October was on, and I freaked out. I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to watch it. And a friend said, streaming, Amy, you can watch it anytime.
Yes.
I'm like, it's not the same.
Yeah, it
it's
just
not
feels
as fun.
better.
You're right.
It's better because then you see the whole thing.
No, Kevin.
It's like finding a really great movie in the $5 bin at Best Buy.
Hmm.
I guess
know that.
nobody else agrees.
Well, first of all,
all right,
the
well, let's
good
I
move
didn't know
on.
Best
Good
Buy
movies
had
never
the
end up in that
$5
bin.
anymore.
That's not true.
It's always like Frankie and Johnny 4.
I found Glory in the $5 bin. Glory is an awesome movie.
I
one is that
found
one?
Glory in the
That's-
$5 bin. Sounds like a
It's-
that
it's
sounds like
Denzel-
song.
That sounds like
Denzel,
it's one in the back room.
No,
He
you
won for that- he won
sickos.
for that movie.
Claves knows it. You're a worldly person. It's Matthew Broderick, Denzel Washington,
that is
Morgan
great.
Freeman
No, that is great.
about the Civil War
Civil
Regiment.
War movie. Yeah, that,
Awesome.
You're
That
right.
was a great movie. You're
Very
right.
good movie.
It's
I
so
think
good.
He won for that movie, right?
Good
Didn't
question.
Denzel win?
Denzel, I think that was Denzel's first award.
Yeah, I think he won for that one.
Awesome. All
Wait,
right.
did we get Clabe's movie though? His movie choice?
Why don't we come back and
Boy.
well-
You need to break?
yeah, you
Not
want
yet,
to
but why don't we
hang
do
out
this?
for a
Let's-
minute?
Let's
I'll be
finish the
around.
movie
All right.
talk, and then we can go to Cardinals next.
Yeah.
What were we waiting to answer, Amy?
Well, Clabes, we hijacked his question. He asked, "What is the movie that's on?" And then when it's on, you.
Oh,
have
he
to
didn't
stop
answer.
and
Yeah, we
watch
didn't
it.
let him answer. What is it, Clibs?
Boy, I guess it depends on what's on. I have too many movies that when they come on, I stop what I'm doing. That's why I can't get anything done in life.
Yeah. Yep.
'Cause
You
I'm stopping
certainly
to
haven't
watch-
gotten anything
Yeah,
done in
Clabes.
life,
Yeah.
Clabes.
I
Yeah.
haven't gotten anything done. I get.
You
like
gotta figure
yesterday,
this out,
the
dude.
Bronx Tale was on, and I stopped what I was doing to watch the Bronx Tale. And
You know
I've
what?
seen
You know
it
what
50
happened?
times.
You saw the movie and they said to you, "Now you can't leave," and then you had to watch
Love
it.
that line. Now you can't leave.
That's right.
And that the way they set it up. Oh, that's a great line.
Yeah.
What
that's
a-
one of my favorites.
Awesome scene.
Nice.
By the way, somebody
Great
texted
movie.
in the movie Duel. Have you seen this movie? And I think
The
it's
Ben Affleck.
no.
No.
Duel. I think it's Spielberg's first, and it's the movie. I
No.
don't know why,
I
but
thought
there's a
Jaws
guy in a
was his
car,
first.
and this dude in a red semi truck is just stalking him the entire movie.
Oh wow!
In this, I think it's like a late '70s movie.
1971.
Oh, early '70s
Mm.
movie.
Wow.
Never saw
No, I didn't
that.
See that one.
You guys will probably hate me for this, but when Moneyball is on, I always watch it.
Never seen it.
Well, we don't hate you, but we just don't like you as much.
There you go.
Because of that.
Good way to put it.
Oh.
Claves, good politician. All right. Hang tight, Claves. We got to talk about the weekend, but also tonight with the Live at Lowe's. So we get more with Mike Claiborne when we come back here on the show.
We play to win.
There's a comebacker. Helsley has it on the mound. Runs toward first. Flips to Goldschmidt. And the Cardinals can celebrate.
Congratulations, St. Louis Cardinals. We play to win.
A Central Division title.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
In business since 1957, we've seen many competitors come and go. Hi, I'm Chuck Easter with Easter Fence Deck and Renovations. Many companies pass away with the owners, and their customers are left with useless promises and warranties. At Easter, we are in the third generation and have a succession plan. You know we'll be here to honor our warranty, which is the best in the industry, and take care of all of your fence, deck, and outdoor construction needs. Call 314-892-8500 or easterfence.com.
Easter Fence Deck and Renovations, where customers become friends.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. This summer, the Little Bit Foundation lost their huge warehouse and headquarters in the flood. It's both a heartbreaking and inspirational story, with Busey and the community helping. Listen to our September podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
I remember being a little kid growing up on a farm. We did not have air conditioning. But what we would do for cooling is we would open our windows if we were in the house, but mostly we tried to stay outside of the house and just play around after we got done farming, just run around. And the best thing that ever happened to us was water sprinklers. So we'd run through water sprinklers for, I would say, not to exaggerate, 15 hours a day when it was this hot. Or what we would do when a storm would come, when it would rain, and we lived on a really big hill, and we would just slide down this hill for hours. But if you're like me now, and you say that crap won't work, and your air conditioner is broke, call me. I understand. It's Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or Bart Inman, that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Work or play, KMOX is right there with you. We go where you go.
All right, back in on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, course, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Our buddy Mike Claiborne is with us. So, Claibs, interesting weekend at the ballpark. The games don't matter when it comes to the standings or playoff seeding or anything else, but I don't know that they could matter more to the fans that are going to pack the place over these next 3 days for the last regular season home games for Albert and Yadi and maybe Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, it's going to be a special weekend of baseball in St. Louis to certainly honor these players. But, you know, everybody's got a different memory about each one of those individuals you brought up. And, you know, I think that we really have to take into account you want to be able to lay eyes on them one more time. And it's something that we'll never see again. We'll never see a trio of players and certainly a duo in Albert and Yadi who've done so much on and off the field and representing this community that we have. Like those two have. And Waino's right there as well. We don't know if Waino's coming back or not. He hasn't made a decision. But I'm looking forward to it. But on the other side of that coin, these games have great meaning to a lot of players because the roster is not set.
Right.
From the pitching standpoint, who's going to be playing off the bench. The only guys I can assure you that will be there on next Friday are Arenado, Goldschmidt, Yadi, Albert, and Miles Michaelis. I think everybody else is up for grabs as far as what they mean. And, obviously a couple of guys in the bullpen, but this is the first time we've actually seen something like this where there's so many guys who are good. And Oliver Marmol loves competition. I mean, he's talked about that from the beginning of spring training. And I think we're going to have that. So these games may not mean anything to us as far as the standings are concerned, but there are some players that better show something if they want to be part of the roster next week.
Claibs, going back to number 700, Albert Pujols, I believe you were the exclusive St. Louis media interview with Pujols in LA, correct? After he hit 700?
I was very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time.
That is awesome. Well, and you've talked to Albert, obviously, many times before. Was there anything personally that you noticed about his demeanor or the moment that stood out to you?
That's a good question, because I felt that in all the times I've talked to him, and he had just spoken to the team before they threw him in the shower, I think it all kind of started to sink in for him, because I brought up his family, his son, who I interviewed right after he hit 700, and how emotional he was. And I think it kind of hit him that other people were affected by what he did. I mean, obviously the fans, but to have his family, all of his kids there to see it, compared to being in Pittsburgh or somewhere else, they were in their home in California. And I think it started to hit him on what it actually started to mean to his family. And I remember one time Mike Shannon saying, Hall of Fames, because he was nominated for multiple Halls of Fame. And he made a point. He said, I think it's more for your friends and family than it is for the individual when they are honored in that regard. And I think for Albert, it really hit him that, my family's enjoying this as well. Not to mention that I don't have to worry about somebody coming up asking me the question about 700 home runs. He always kept that a distant. It was about winning. It's about winning a World Series. And, oh, by the way, if I hit 700, fine. If I don't, I'm cool with whatever I hit, because it's more than the rest of the world for the most part.
This has been, for the last several weeks, it's been a fun season. I'd say most of the year, but the last several weeks have been hyper fun, just because you feel like they got a pretty good grasp of the division. They're winning baseball games, and you're getting to follow along these individual accomplishments like 700, and like Yadi and Wainwright doing what they're doing. Of all the baseball seasons that you have covered outside of World Series years, where does this one rank for you?
It's at the top. It's a great question you ask, because you think about Albert, Yadi, Waino, and their accomplishments. I saw a guy this year have 10 hits in a row. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I saw a guy catch a pitcher who threw 104 miles an hour, and I saw him also catch a guy who threw 60 miles an hour. I watched 13 guys make their major league debut, and all of them, for the most part, made a legitimate contribution that helped this team win during the course of the year. I watched a 36-year-old manager who I've known since he was in the minors take on a team in a very trying situation because of how the guy he replaced, how that unfolded, and how he took it and took a team and guided them in a manner where he gave them tough love, but he gave them fair love, and how he managed the minor losing streaks and all the other things, the injuries. And to me, this has been maybe the most enjoyable season. And I'll give you another thing. I work with some of the best people you could ever work with, in John Rooney and Ricky Horton and Jim Jackson and our booth associate, Michael Langston, and Dan McLaughlin. I've never had as much fun working with guys. And I would include Mike Shannon in some years. I had a lot of fun with him. But we're having so much fun hanging out and just laughing about little things that we'll carry from now on. And if we can win this thing, it'll be the ultimate icing on the cake.
Well, you get to hang out with those guys tonight, Clabe. So after the game, as part of the post-game show, you got the Friday night live at Lowe's for the last time this year. And every one of them has been a blast. And by the way, anybody listening can just show up and hang out there. You just go to the Lowe's Hotel across the street by Ballpark Village. You go up to, I guess it's really, you just go up the stairs, go in the main entrance, go up the stairs right in front of you, and head out to the back patio. That's the Bullock. It's a bar area. You can get food and hang out. And tonight, you guys have a pretty special guest.
Ozzie Smith, the Hall of Famer, is going to join us. And we were trying to get Wayne Gretzky and Ozzie at the same time. And their schedules just didn't work. So Ozzie's going to be part of our show. And, I'll take any Hall of Famer, but Ozzie being I think I might have been one of the first people Ozzie met when he got to St. Louis, and that was 40-something years ago. And we've been great friends, and he's become a much better golfer than me. He already was a better baseball player than me. So we've had a lot of fun over the years. So we'll have him in because I want to make sure that he talks about when you get into postseason play and how things have to they change because of the urgency to win. But a lot of things have to stay the same because I don't think you can get out of character when you get into postseason, because once you start trying to be something you're not, then all of a sudden you're watching somebody else do what they do better and you're watching it on TV.
Well, I know you guys have had a blast with all of that. Looking forward, by the way, the beauty of all this, Claibs, and you don't have local TV during the postseason, but we have the Cardinals Radio Network, we have KMOX, and Danny Mac will be a part of that along with John and Rick and you. So the fun won't be stopping when the regular season ends, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week to preview the first round playoff series, which starts for a week from today.
We're going to have a lot of fun. And, I always tell the TV guys, and I told Danny Mac this, I said, you will have more fun doing this than you do TV, because being in the radio business, and the best example was on Friday night where it was not local TV involved. There's always Cardinal baseball on KMOX, and we capture all the moments. And to have Danny involved, and I said, listen, you will not enjoy yourself more, especially if we win the last game of the playoffs. If we win that last game of the World Series, there's nothing else you do in your broadcasting career that will stack up against it. So I'm looking forward to seeing him do it, having Ricky involved, and certainly John and I have done it before on the radio side. So I'm looking forward to that getting underway starting next Friday.
Claibs, have a great weekend, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
You guys take care. We'll see you soon.
There you go, Mike Claiborne, be on the broadcast throughout the weekend, and of course the Live at Lowe's tonight on the post-game show, not only in person at the Bullock, but also right here on KMOX.
Sure, we all love to have a clean home, but what about the things that you can't see that are making your home dirty? I'm talking about germs, bacteria, mold, and more. This is Debbie Monterey, and you really need to call Beam of St. Louis if you want a truly healthy home. Beam of St. Louis can provide you with a whole house HEPA air filtration system that provides HEPA pure air 24/7 in every room in your home. It'll help reduce allergy symptoms without a prescription. For the healthiest home possible, make sure you have a Beam Central Vacuum System. It removes 100% of the collected germs, bacteria, mold, and dust. So, a Beam Central Vacuum System and a Beam Whole House HEPA air filtration system. The folks at Beam of St. Louis are great to work with, fantastic customer service, one-day installation. Give them a call at 314-567-1515 or online at beamstl.com. That's Beam of St. Louis. You'll be glad you called.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
At 1:30, it's sunny and 70 degrees downtown at the Arch. Hurricane Ian has just made landfall again, this time on South Carolina's coast after causing catastrophic damage in Florida. National Weather Service meteorologist John Quagliaro says Hurricane Ian's storm surge and winds remain a concern as it rains.
Heavy rain is also ongoing with many flash flood warnings right now in the Charleston Tri-County area. The flooding threat will continue into this evening. Especially with the torrential rainfall, the high rainfall rates that we're seeing right now with Ian.
St. Louis Fire Hazardous Materials Task Force responding to an acetone chemical spill in the 3300 block of South 2nd Street. Russia's Putin's formerly annexed 4 regions in Ukraine. Russia expert Beth Noble says the annexation is not likely to have much popular support in Russia because Putin's mobilization of as many as 300,000 troops has brought the war close to the homes of Russians who had previously been distanced from it.
The mobilization has led to protests and bombings at draft centers and is making some Russians very worried about an escalation of the war in Ukraine. I had Russian friends visit this month, and after talking to them, I'm convinced that opposition to the war in Ukraine is much larger inside Russia than the polls indicate. And I think this escalation is just going to fuel more opposition to the war inside Russia.
There's a crash on 70 East past St. Charles Rock Road in the right lane. A crash on 6440 West past Spady in the right lane. A stall 270 North before 64 on the right shoulder. Sunny and nice this afternoon with a high of 72 degrees, says Dave Murray. A clear sky overnight, the low 45. Lots of sun for tomorrow with the high of 75. Right now it's sunny and 70 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Are you concerned about higher taxes, soaring inflation, and what's next for the stock market? Don't miss Your Retirement Professors this Saturday afternoon at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Missouri Army National Guard. Aired by the Missouri Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946-9999. If you notice that interest rates are rising and prices aren't quite the same as they used to be, give us a call because we are cash buyers and so we're not affected by interest rates. Where maybe the market was super hot previously and now things have calmed down a little bit and you're not getting the prices that you want, give us a call if you have a house to sell because we are cash buyers. 314-946-9999, ClaymanGroup.com.
Here's one thing you can do to beautify your property and help prevent stormwater pollution. Create a rain garden. Rain gardens help reduce polluted stormwater from entering waterways, which can hurt both water quality and the wildlife that inhabit them and prevent water overflows. Excessive runoff can erode banks and increase flooding. Visit msdprojectclear.org to find out more about rain gardens and your flood risk. Know your zone. This One Thing message brought to you by MSD Project Clear. What's your one thing?
Sunday night, it's St. Louis City 2 soccer action.
Light football in front. Olstruck, he scores!
The Western Conference Final between City 2 and Tacoma. Pre-game at 7:15. And you can catch all the action here on America's Sports Voice, KMOX. It's Fun Police Friday. Friday on the show.
All right, if you haven't already, it's time for you to submit your weekend plans to the Fun Police. The Fun Police are Ron, Amy, and me. And you can do that 314-436-7900. And you can also leave a voicemail if you'd like, 944-1120, 314-944-1120. And tweet at the show KMOX or at any one of us if you want, and we can include your weekend into the mix.
Well, and we know this, Kevin. You have been the most lenient
I'm the good
officer
cop.
of the law.
No, you're not
I'm the good cop.
And
Yes,
actually,
yes.
you're just letting everything. You're the lazy
lawless
cop.
lazy cop.
All
No.
you're doing is just allowing people to do whatever they want. There's no
As
repercussions
long as you don't
whatsoever.
go more than 10 over the speed
It's
limit, I'm letting you go.
He's not
Lawlessness.
really even pulling you over.
Is he even a cop? Do we even know?
No, we don't know. I think the only way Kevin pulls people over is if he just happens to be sitting at the light and a car hits the red light and stops next to him with the window down. Kevin says, "Hey, what are you doing?"
You're Paul Blart.
No.
You are Paul.
No.
I can't say Paul Blart. I see. Can't do it. Forget
Ball
it.
plart.
Ball Plart.
Plarbolt.
All right. I'm calling the police on myself because I can't see Paul Blart. Say it.
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
All right, so we got some submissions coming in. Why don't we start it?
All right.
Okay.
My weekend plans tonight. Gonna start with a it's called a Bauer.
Wait, what?
A Huda?
A Bauer. Remember we were talking about a shower beer earlier?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we had somebody, Mike, emailed the newsroom. Thanks.
It's like calling 911 about the
Yeah.
shower
It's
beer.
I love
like,
that, by the way. We should do that. You guys should send all of those ideas to the newsroom.
Somebody, please email KMOX newsroom and say,
We're like
by the way,
only serious people
so
here.
somebody did.
Yeah, you're right.
We were talking about the shower beer. And
Yeah.
what the shower beer is, for people who don't know, you're getting ready for the night. You're in the shower, hot and steamy in the shower, and then you have a nice cold beer next to the shower that you enjoy while you're getting ready to go do your stuff at night. And somebody emailed the newsroom and said a beer in the shower is called a Bauer. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I've never
Mike,
heard that.
thank you for the tip. Thank you for the news tip.
We had a text that says it's an ESB.
Evening shower
evening
beer.
shower beer.
Okay.
Oh.
I kind of like that one better. But Bauer's, because it can be confusing.
A Bauer. I don't know what else a Bauer
Because
could be.
I'm a baseball guy, I'd be thinking like Trevor Bauer, because that's not good.
And as a hockey person,
If you
I'd
say
be
it's a
thinking
Bauer, I'm thinking, ugh, don't
Bauer
do that.
Equipment.
You
Hockey
can call it a
equipment.
show beer, which sounds weird. But anyway, it's a great way to start the night. You're
All
about
right,
to go
all
meet
right.
some people. You're about to go out with whatever. So I'm going to start the night, I think, with a shower beer tonight. I'm going to go meet up some friends. We're going to have a nice time. We're going to go watch some baseball. And then tomorrow, maybe try to go to the baseball game. I don't know yet.
What do you mean
But I'm
try?
there are no tickets, and the ones that are available on the secondary market are $1 million.
Oh, I thought you said you had an in.
Mm-hmm.
No,
You
no,
have
I
any
haven't in.
connections?
No, that's why I was asking people like,
Oh, yeah.
who did I ask?
Michael Kelly. Hey,
no.
can I sit in your seats?
Oh, yeah, Matt Pauly.
Matt, yeah.
He's
can
like,
Matt
I've been
get
here
him?
a week. What do
Yeah.
you want me to do?
You ask
So
the
that's,
least-
and then
the newest guy.
on Sunday, I'm going to watch the stupid Bears lose.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
You get 2 tickets. You get 3 tickets. 1 for the shower beer, which is hot and gross. And then 2, you're going to try to get tickets. That's lame. So ticket for
Tickets
that.
are $1 million. Do you have
No.
$1 million, Amy?
No, but you know what? You should have planned ahead. We
Should
are
have,
the
you're right.
voice of the Cardinals. And then 3, what was the third one?
Gonna watch the Bears lose.
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
Yeah,
You get a
I'm
ticket for
listen.
that.
I will not dispute that one. I
Well-
might take you to court on the other two.
Wait a minute. Do you lose your license for 3 tickets
No,
in a row?
I'm going to give him the kind of ticket, though, that like it's like when you get one for no proof of insurance, where if you show them insurance later, they'll take the ticket back.
Uh-huh.
So if you actually get to the game,
Mhm.
or if the Bears actually win, your
Okay.
tickets are rescinded.
Fair.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't even know what those tickets are called, but I've gotten them.
Okay,
And
bad.
then I've had them erased because I'd show the thing.
Just called a bad time ticket.
Yeah, bad time ticket. There you go. Who's next?
Okay, I'll go. Well, guys, tonight,
You going to run this weekend?
well, I am going to run this
Oh,
weekend, but I'm
That's
not sure. I'm
already
going to
that's
go
one
in order.
violation.
Even I'm going to vote that down.
Okay, well, that's rude, unsurprising, but rude. Tonight we are celebrating my dad is retiring. It's his
Nice.
last
Okay.
day of work was today.
Okay.
Finally.
Congrats.
Yep.
Well
Mr. Marks
done.
Kors.
I know. He always goes a million miles an hour, has been working as long as I've known him, which has been my whole
He should
life.
celebrate with a shower beer.
And we'll see, but he'll celebrate.
I love Amy. Amy's like, my dad's been working as long as I've known him.
You know.
Like, really?
As long
Okay.
as I've known him.
Shocking.
He's just one of those guys that he's always got something to do. And even on the weekends, he's doing yard work and he works outside all day. So it's a much deserved retirement. So we'll be celebrating him tonight. And tomorrow I will be spending time with the family. I believe we'll be going to the farmer's market. And on Sunday, it's the Mo Cowbell Marathon, half marathon 10K. So I'm going to do a long run and run to different parts of the course and cheer everybody on running their marathon, half marathon, 10K, and 5K in St. Charles.
Okay, I am absolutely pulling you over because, like, okay, the celebrating your dad retiring, awesome. That's okay, and you are free to go on that one.
Thank you.
But the only thing worse than running is going to watch people run.
And running to watch people run.
That's just
It's awesome.
No, it is not.
The
That's
community
horrible.
comes together. There are so many
That is
people.
horrible.
If you are running the Mo Cowbell this weekend, text in 314-436-7900.
I've got
We
this
will get
ex-girlfriend.
No texts. I'm
No.
teasing. I'm
No, no
kidding.
text. No
It's a
text.
joke.
I have.
They're too busy running.
I had this ex-girlfriend, and it's probably why she's an ex-girlfriend, but she had a race to run
sure
one
that's
morning, and she said, you're going to come watch me race? And I'm like, no. I'm like, no?
Yeah.
So you're going to run by.
Uh-huh.
I will see you for 5 seconds.
Was it the Chicago Marathon?
No, it was like some stupid 5K or something.
Okay.
I think it
this
was dumb.
guy's
I'm
a
like, no, I'm not
real-
going to that.
Real catch this one.
Yeah.
436.
This was
314,
years ago when I
436,
was in college at the time, and I have grown up a lot. I'm
Have
still
you?
not going to go watch you run your
Grown up a
race,
lot.
Yeah.
but I've grown up a lot. Hey,
That's
want
highly
to come
disputable.
Want to come watch me run? No, I do not.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you're running Mo Cowbell, I'm going to be there cheering you on.
And I'm not going to show up with a sign or a cup of coffee or whatever you do. Do you have people hand coffee out? Water. It's water, right?
Random coffee on the course would be great.
Oh,
Okay, so
Here's
they
a
do have-
really hot drink while you're running. Here.
Yeah.
They do have Wash U students, like during the St. Louis Marathon, have been with tables of beer.
Oh.
Yeah, like mile 2, something
Nice.
like that. Yeah.
Nice. Could make it
A
more fun.
beer. Take that beer in the shower.
There you go.
Kevin, are you going to have a shower beer?
No, because I don't drink
Okay.
beer.
No.
Number one, I don't take showers. Wait, I do. I really do.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
We've been meaning to talk to you.
Yeah. No, I don't drink beer, so no, I wouldn't do that. Maybe I'll have a shower dew. Well, Mountain Dew in the shower.
Oh, a Mountain Dew.
You know?
It's so
Might.
interesting.
I'm honest to God, guys, I'm not in there long enough. I mean, 5 minutes max. I mean, like it's fast. I'm all business. Get out.
Do you shave your face in the shower?
I do not shave my face in the shower.
Do you?
No. I have done it before.
I've
but
heard of people doing that, but isn't it
I need a
hard
mirror.
to
I
see?
need to
It
see.
is. It is.
Yeah.
I've always found that it's difficult. The mirror fogs up. It's never.
Plus, I
yeah.
use an electric, so probably don't want to get shocked.
Yeah.
I know they make them for the shower too, by the way. I do know this. I don't have one of those, I don't think.
Plugs it in.
Yeah, like,
Stuff to the shower. Yeah,
No,
don't do that. Don't
not
do
going
that.
to do that. Tonight, going out to dinner to a Mexican restaurant with a couple of friends.
Okay, that you get a pass because I
well,
love...
what it depends. Is it a Taco Bell?
No, it's a real one.
Qdoba.
It's a real one.
Okay.
No, it's a real,
I actually like
actual
El
sit
Perro
down.
Loco.
It's not that, but it's a real one.
Okay.
I don't want to say where because if I do, there's going to be a crowd of people showing up.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Oh, is it?
demanding
I
autographs.
mean, I can't deal with that stuff. I mean, it's Friday night. I want this to be a dinner
No.
with my my
I-
wife and my friends. And
You get a pass.
okay, so that's tonight. Then probably some baseball tonight after the dinner,
Okay.
and some video games after that.
Mm,
Yeah. That's like,
And then
pulled over
coaching
for
a
that
couple
one.
of baseball games tomorrow, surrounded by college football front and back of that. Sunday, we'll be coaching more baseball, maybe all day. And if it's not all day, it'll be in the morning, and then NFL stuff after that.
It's okay.
And TV shows with the wife mixed in. Like tonight, we will watch the Rings of Power, and on Sunday, we will watch the Game of Thrones.
Oh, and I get down with that.
I give you a
House
ticket.
of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I
so you're
give you
giving him a ticket?
for Clash of the
No.
Dragons.
Oh,
Anything that has to do
no.
with
Clash of the Dragons.
Yeah.
She's like, House of the Clash something.
Yeah, anything that has to do with clashing and dragons.
The Swords of the
Yeah.
Damocles.
I'll tell you what, it's getting pretty good.
The Sword of Damocles.
You didn't
is
know I
hanging
knew
over-
that.
No,
she,
I didn't.
She just looked at me like,
Whoa,
holy crap.
Look at you.
I don't know who it is.
It's not a guy. It's a perilous position because the Sword of Damocles is hanging over you.
Right. Yeah,
something,
that's what I
yeah.
meant.
You can text us 314-436-7900. You can also
We got one on Twitter.
tweet us. Yeah, tweet us. There are a couple actually here. One from Dan who tweeted in
Big
earlier.
blonde Dan, not just Dan. Big blonde Dan.
Big blonde Dan.
I think he's probably big and blonde.
Who is explaining he's going to go see rugby. He's going to watch rugby,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's explaining the rules to rugby.
Okay,
And
but
he-
I don't
to
understand
us.
what he meant by like see rugby's in tens.
I don't know what that means
Rugby
either.
in tens? Is that a
Well,
thing?
I think. Hold on. Let me
Ouch.
go to that. But he explained the
That hurt.
rules because
All passes have to go backwards. You can kick anytime. Scoring is touch the ball down in the end zone.
I think he was saying like rugby in 10 seconds. Maybe.
No, it's a thing. So I just looked
Oh.
it up. The answer man has the Google. In rugby or rugby in tens, there are only 5 forwards and 5 backs, and the side with each half lasting only 10 minutes.
Oh.
So there's something about tens.
Okay, so
Okay.
he the reason why he explained the rules on Twitter is because I issued a ticket last week for someone watching rugby. I'm assuming it was Dan.
It was Dan.
Yeah, because I don't understand it.
Right.
I've watched.
Oh, well,
rugby
if
a
you
lot.
don't understand it.
No. So I gave him a ticket because I don't get it.
Well, you should watch.
I will
You've
say-
got mail instead.
Rugby is one of the sports, though, that I don't have to know anything about, and I can still sit and watch it.
Interesting.
There's action. There's running and hitting, and there's some celebrating and scoring. And I mean, I don't even need to know what's going on. I'm like, that's fine.
You know what my interest level in rugby is? It ends after the haka. Like whenever they do the dance.
No, that's only the
No, they do it in rugby
New
too.
Zealanders.
The New Zealanders with rugby.
Right, but
yeah.
like they don't do that in Australia.
No, but the New Zealanders, when they get ready for a match, they call it a match, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, let's just assume it's a match.
They do it the rugby's in 10s.
They do the haka. That's really cool.
The haka's awesome.
It's very, very cool.
Saw it in person. It's great.
And then as soon as that's over, I'm good.
I saw the haka done inside a casino in Sydney, Australia.
Oh,
it was pretty amazing.
Who was it that there was a football player that got I think he was an LSU player who got drafted, and walking into the building, he did the haka with his family within that crowd of people. It was a really, really cool moment.
That's like one of the only things I've ever seen. I'm like, that's pretty intimidating.
It's awesome. It's super intimidating.
Like, I see why they do it now, because that would scare bears away. Like, I think if that could be the new training if you're running to a grizzly, like just start doing the haka. Like make those noises and pose and like stomp around.
Stick your tongue out.
Like, ah!
Yeah. That would be kind of fun.
Amy's like, that wouldn't work.
Have you ever seen a haka? Do you
and by
know
the way,
what
have you
we're
ever
talking
seen
about?
the size of some of those guys?
Well, yeah.
They're huge.
They are.
The rugby players, some of them. A texter says they shave in the shower, no mirror necessary.
See, I've heard
if
that,
you're
this is very
crazy,
popular.
What do you mean if you're crazy?
you got to be able to see your face.
What if you miss a spot?
Yeah, that's what I would do.
You miss a spot or you cut yourself?
I gotta cut yourself because of that.
How do you know?
Oh,
Do you
it's not like you're
use-
using
do
a
you-
straight blade.
I know that would be scary.
Well, that's how I shave.
With a straight blade, like the old timey barbers?
Yeah, and then
You're
I have
like-
I have that little thing where I sharpen it beforehand. I
Do
got
you
a little
have-
leather strap.
do
You
you
strap
have
it.
Yep.
You strap it.
The puffy brush where you go.
Do I have the
puffy
puffy brush? I can't believe you had to ask.
The
Of
shaving
course I
brush?
do.
Wait, you do?
And then you go like.
Yes,
Wait,
I do all
you
of
have
those
the poofy
things.
brush?
Oh yeah, Kevin.
And you use like shaving cream and stuff?
Oh, believe it.
When I think about old timey people getting a shave, I just always picture Bugs Bunny when he becomes a barber and he like wraps him up and he's like, "Oh, let's see here," and he does the whole time.
I have no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
you've seen it.
I don't remember it. I used to watch Bugs
Yeah,
Bunny.
you've seen it.
he shaves Elmer Fudd's head or something.
That was a really awkward pause, Amy. Really awkward pause. I don't know why you did that.
I do.
All right, we got more fun police submissions coming up. I'm gonna try to shake that out of my head.
Lombardo Homes welcomes you to Sutton Farms in Wentzville, a sprawling new custom home community grand opening on Saturday, October 8th. Sutton Farms offers a private, rural setting with the added bonus of nearby shopping and dining on Wentzville Parkway. Loved for its spacious home sites, Sutton Farms is also close to the Splash Station Aquatic Center and Wentzville Rec Center. Be one of the first 3 purchasers at Sutton Farms, and we'll provide a 2-year membership to one or the other. Join us on Saturday, October 8th, and start your home building journey. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. We just celebrated our 35th year as a BMW dealer by finishing our multi-million-dollar renovation. So come see it. It's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesin.st.louis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com or call 314-328-8000.
The Highland Arts Council invites you to the 18th Annual Art in the Park Festival in Highland, Illinois, Saturday and Sunday, October 8th and 9th. There will be nearly 40 professional artists in an indoor and outdoor setting to shop, plus food and entertainment for the entire family. Kids can make their own art creations for free. Art in the Park, October 8th and 9th in Lindendale Park in Highland, Illinois. Visit highlandartscouncil.org for more information. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at Zero Res. So heading into the end of the Cardinal season and postseason, hopefully this goes a long way. Fall and Halloween and Thanksgiving, and we're not that far away from the winter holidays and Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff. I say this to say that you're probably going to be spending a lot more time inside than you do during the summer. Kids certainly are. You're going to be having people over to watch playoff games and trick or treat and Thanksgiving and the whole bit. You want to make sure that your home is as clean and beautiful and presentable and welcoming and hygienic as possible. So Zero Res is making it easy for you. Do 3 rooms of Zero Res carpet cleaning for $129. Take $75 off of your air duct cleaning. They're going to make sure that everything is clean and hygienic and beautiful and make you look good. Call 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com.
Join the Foundation Fighting Blindness at the St. Louis Vision Walk on Saturday, October 1st at Creve Coeur Lake Park to help find cures to diseases that cause blindness. Visit visionwalk.org.
Make sure your home's heating and cooling system is in shape for the season with a community-trusted service from Scott Lee Heating. Get exclusive savings on a new Lennox system. Call 314-756-9444 today or at scottleeheating.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Kevin, Amy, and Chris now.
Best friends together.
Dave Glover at 2 on KMOX.
All right, we got DGS coming up after the top of the hour. You can still send a quick Fun Police in if you want. 314-436-7900, 314-944-1120 for a voicemail. You guys just got a text a minute ago and says to me, do you really think anyone would follow you to a Mexican restaurant? You're a legend in your own mind. And first of all, it's happened. The last time we had to shut the place down, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was like the Beatles.
Yeah.
I
I've
mean,
heard
like,
about
seriously,
this.
they had to lock
honestly-
the door.
I've heard about this.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And
I've heard.
honestly, who he really doesn't want to follow him is Ranjan me. He never tells us where he and Susan
I don't
go.
have to worry about you because you will not cross the river.
I crossed the river.
You guys
I
will not.
don't know.
Ranjan
I
did it once. He was very nice. He did
I
it for a
don't-
library
my-
program.
River
No.
on Sunday for the Mo Cowbell.
Oh, all right. All right.
My rule is I don't cross 2 rivers.
Oh, well, there's only one in between where you live and I live.
Right. So I'll go out there.
But remember when he and Susan saw the Top Gun movie?
Yeah.
And they
Did not
wouldn't tell
invite us.
They
I
didn't
sent you a
invite us?
picture of where we were.
No,
And by the
afterwards.
way, you two dorks still haven't seen it.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Have
Okay, so
not
you gave
seen
me
it.
all that crap, and I'm the only one of us that actually went and saw it. And it was good.
Voicemails again,
I
as
can't
Kevin
believe
mentioned.
this guy
Well, no, I do. I
doesn't
do
believe
because
me. First
yeah,
of all, sorry, but
look,
if you're dumb enough to think that I was being serious, just stop.
Kevin, I
Kevin,
have
you're a legend in my mind.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
And you are a legend in my mind that Amy said that you're a legend. I think you're a very big deal.
Yes, I have this
legendarily
problem. It's like it
stupid
happens all the time.
statement.
There are always people following me where I go, and I got to keep it a secret.
Why are you so mean to Amy? I don't know. Why am I? Okay. We have a voicemail, 314.
Let's go.
314-944-1120. Send us a voicemail.
Shave before the shower. Shave your face before the shower. It feels so fresh. Have a good weekend, guys. Goodbye.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And I agree with that. Do not shave in the shower. You're not an animal.
Animals
you're not
shave.
you're not a psychopath. You're not a crazy person.
Yeah.
You can cut yourself in the shower.
Yeah. I get the convenience of, like, you know, you don't have extra fuss and muss at the sink and all
You
that,
don't
but
brush
I
your
wouldn't
teeth
do
in
it.
the shower, do you?
No.
Oh my gosh, psychopath!
Why would you do that?
It's gross, right?
Well, I don't think it's gross. It just seems very
weird.
inconvenient.
Franz, you're suspiciously quiet.
I'll tell you why.
He's thinking of
He's like,
something to say.
can I admit it?
No, I zoned out. I was reading something. I was reading a
Was it
text message that
Business
came
Insider?
in, and I do the thing that Kevin does. I read a text message while the show's going on instead of listening to my co-hosts.
Wait, what?
See?
Amy,
and I was
Amy, what I miss?
See?
I was reading a text just now.
See? See?
Am I the only one doing the show right now? You
Yeah.
guys are just reading text?
Amy, close it out.
Anyway, I would finish up with this story, but my Business Insider limit has been reached, and so I can't read the article.
Oh, that was me too. That was me. I was trying to read a Business
Can you
Insider
say-
article.
What are you trying to say right now?
Don't worry about it. Amir texted in. He's going to watch the Manchester Derby this weekend, which is Man City versus Man U soccer
Oh.
or football.
It's a
He's going to
match.
crack his first beer at 8 a.m.
Nice.
Yes, sir. You can
Yes.
shower beer.
You get a free pass for
That's
the weekend.
That's right. Go have fun.
Guys, have a great weekend. DGS next here on KMOX.
McKnight Place Assisted Living and Memory Care. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years. Features luxury accommodations and exceptional service. At McKnight Place, residents enjoy spacious apartments, walking paths through lush gardens, fine dining, engaging activities, and more. As a trusted expert in senior living,